So, Black Star attempted to go and have an interaction with the Outcast, and the Outcast kind of gave him the cold shoulder and said that they were going to basically take the loot and that the party could have the leftovers. So he decided to come up with an elaborate ruse by misty stepping into the large vessel inside of Solium 468 and created a smoke/tentacle monster and made some gurgly noises like he was getting attacked. Everybody in the hangar, Razier and Louise, and I mean, I don't know why I'm singling them out, but everybody believed that he was actually being attacked by something inside of the ship, and everybody kind of swarmed over to go and try and help him to start a battle. We rolled initiative, and there was a series of people that tried to climb up into the ship, fell down and fell prone on the outside. It was pretty brutal. That whole situation was taken care of, kind of. I'm going to skip a lot of what happened there. And then there was a conversation with the Outcast that the captain, Adamar, wanted an item from this vessel. So then a chest was pulled out of the vessel and opened up. There's a bunch of gold inside of it, which that the chest and the gold are still in the portable hole. And the item that was inside of the chest was something that none of the characters know what it is, but all of the players assumed based on the description that it is a jetpack. And so that was given over to the captain. The captain handed over a hunting rifle and I believe 50 or 100, I don't remember, rounds of ammunition. Somebody probably has it written down somewhere. So an uneasy alliance was made with the Outcast. The Outcast said that they were going to stay in the hangar and continue raiding it, so to speak, to see what else could be found here. And the party decided to make headway towards the Chainless base as much as they could. And traveled another 3 or 4 hours out into the jungle towards the Chainless base and were setting up camp for the night. I believe a tiny hut was put up so that everybody could gather underneath it. Xander was scribing the sending spell for this evening and using a charge out of his ring so as not to incur a point of exhaustion. One thing that I forgot to mention last session that I wanted to bring up that may cause us to go back to RP something. When you were in the hangar, if you recall, the first room that you walked into, there were 2 solium wells on the left and right hand side, and there were some cables that were running up to the walls of the hangar itself, but I never told you what was on the other side because it never came up. But there were a bunch of pedestals with canisters of solium sitting on those pedestals on that wall that were just free in the clear and there. That's something that, if nobody else, Louise probably would have seen, only based on the ridiculous perception that he has. So I don't know if you would have done anything with that. I also did have a brief conversation with Eric about the fact that nobody did anything with the God Shard, and you guys left it there.
What?
I mean, Xander was like in the middle of investigating it to try and, I don't know, think about what to do with it or something, and then the Black Star thing happened, and everybody went over. We went way over time on the length of the session. Alex had to go.
I had to leave,
and so we just kind of said, all right, well, let's just kind of skip to heading towards the Chainless base. So if you want to rewind to do some stuff in the hangar, we can do that. If you want to just be where we said we are, because if not, you still haven't leveled up yet, technically.
I feel like we wouldn't have left the God Shard unless there was something keeping us from not taking it. Did I ask about that?
I know Garen would have taken it.
Is there something keeping us from taking it?
I don't think there was. It was just kind of really wedged in the ground.
So Veriloth appeared and was talking to you about it and was saying that it's very difficult to... He was saying something about it being dangerous and hard to manage and not something you can just pick up and carry around with you.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
Right.
He didn't say those exact words, but that's what he was alluding to.
Yeah.
Just roll it into the hole.
That was specifically warned against.
I was gonna say that would probably cause
problems.
Yeah, I was gonna say that would probably cause catastrophic interdimensional events to unfurl.
Yeah, something real bad. That was specifically warned against.
But I mean, to be fair, Tim does want to end the campaign.
Yeah, I'm gonna say let's test to see what he has prepared and do it. So.
No, we'd get sent to the astral plane, and then we finally start the Spelljammer campaign.
Yeah.
Jesus.
You get picked up by a random ship, have to work our way up from deckhands, eventually take over the ship.
Sounds like everybody just wants to play a different campaign altogether, honestly. We could just...
No.
Yeah, I think our only idea even for the God Shard was maybe have Ant-Man
A2.
whose name
Ilias?
yeah is
Elias? Enosis?
Enosis?
I don't know what I said.
There it is. There it is. Yeah, Gnosis. Was to have him like take it and have it in his big tree body or something. Because like other than that, we don't really have a way of moving it or transporting it. So it's either like see if he wants to like come and have a cool new God Shard core, or if he can do anything with it, or we leave it until we come back and have more time to think about it.
So just for a few minutes, because seeing as it's being brought up and it seems important to most, if not all of the party, let's actually roll it back to that, because you haven't gotten it out of the ground. And you can either have your conversation, or if somebody wants to, and we don't need to spend an exorbitant amount of time on this, but let's bring it back to just after you finished your conversation with the outcast and you were leaving. Because literally from that point, we just said we're headed out into the forest. So you've just walked away from them, and from your perspective, walking away from the hangar door, the shard is on your left, and those canisters are in front of you on opposite side. There's two. So there's actually one canister that's about half full and one that's completely full. They're the same type of canisters that you saw at Solium 467, the ruined area where you fought and met Enosis.
So I shouldn't take the magic rock.
I just don't think it's something that's feasibly carried around and brought places.
Yeah, I don't think we really have the means to do so is the problem.
What about my arms? Can my arms not do that for you guys?
Yeah, but then you need to put it down to punch things, and that just gets cumbersome and in the way. And then also, do we really want to be dragging it around with us to a chainless base? Like, that'd be one more thing we'd have to consider if we have to try and leave, is make sure we bring that with us. And things don't go our way. If they go south, then gotta lug a big rock around while we're trying to run. I think might be better off leaving it here and being dealt with after.
What does this rock mean to you?
Right. So that's that rock has got some special things about it. If you stand near it, it makes you like strong.
Yeah, I felt great.
Yeah. He stood near it, so it makes you physically stronger, makes your brain work better. Like basically everything of yours just goes through the roof. You become super kind of person.
Super.
It's got some other properties to it. As you saw
Aaron.
with my invisible friend being able to be seen by y'all. But it's a potent thing, and the main thing is the chainless are trying to collect them and use them, and that alone is enough for us to not want that to happen.
That makes sense.
Okay.
So yeah, I think we might have to leave it here and then just kind of try and think of something on our way back after we dealt with the base.
Have we ever tried just hitting one with the Onyx Breaker's hammer?
I was about to say, can't we like take a piece of it?
That was also specifically warned against. That was the other thing. There's two things that he warned it against: was don't put it in the hole and don't break it with the hammer.
I mean,
Either way will cause doom.
he also told you to kill Matthias, so...
I did, and it worked out great.
Well, I think we're still figuring that one out. Being that he was my former mentor, that could have been...
No, Rizzi didn't say that. He didn't say that.
Yes, I think it would be better to first remove the threat and then concern ourselves with the rock.
Yeah.
Well, as long as we're coming back for the magic rock, that's all I care about.
And I'm pretty sure the outcasts don't know what rock is or does, so should be safe in the meantime.
They're fools. It doesn't matter what they know or don't know, and nothing's safe around them. I swear, they're the worst kind.
They did hear Cerberov talking about telling the Chainlesses is here, so like they probably at least picked up that the Chainless want it.
That's another thing to consider. If Severov told them, then how do we even know it'll be here when we get back? Like, what if they've dispatched people to come get it already? It's important to them, isn't it?
Oh
I
man,
mean,
that's a
we are
really
heading to
good point.
We are heading to the nearest base. If the people are going to come take it, it'd be from there.
And we can cut him off.
Well,
If
or
we see
or we
them.
could move it somewhere where we know where.
I could do that. Maybe.
Just carry it for a little while, not like the
Is there
entire
like
time.
another room where we can put this in, not just have it out in the open?
I mean, we don't
I mean,
even.
if we were going to
have-
move it, take it out of the tower.
The
Yeah,
tower
but
in,
then but then bring it to where? It's not like we have a place to stay.
Yeah.
You know, we jump from tavern to tavern, and what? We're gonna just put it down and use it as a home base. And
What's
Well, I mean,
the-
why not?
what's the range on the Fulton's door?
Ooh, Louise, you're a genius. That's actually amazing.
I have no
don't they
clue what
have?
you're talking about, but
don't they
I'm
have
on
no
Black Star's
range?
side.
I think it was
Just as
point,
long as it's a
point
door.
5 miles or a mile, something like that.
Oh, it's
No,
as
not
long
the-
as
not
it's
the
on
chalk.
same plane.
Not the
the
chalk,
actual-
the
The door.
magical
Oh, the
doors
ch-
we found with
the-
Zanladir.
Bolton door.
You guys told me about these doors. They sounded amazing. Perfect for parlor tricks, especially, or
Because
perhaps
I was thinking,
heists.
what if we send door to someone like Salagastra, maybe?
That's
Ooh,
Yeah, but
that's a really
we
good
don't-
idea.
we
We
don't-
like her.
and I don't want to burden her with that.
Why not?
Also, we'd be making a Bolton door somewhere out here in the middle of the woods.
Well, we'll just come back and build a house in this area. Haven't you guys ever wanted a home, like with a white picket fence and like
Not
flowers?
in the middle of the
something?
jungle / swamp. I'm not an
Well, that's-
ogre.
You need a exotic, locale in your life. You can't turn your head against everything.
Yeah, I'd rather build a house in the tundra than a swamp.
I say we hide the thing. I'd rather hide it than let the Chainless get it back. I can burn a grove of trees so we know where to find it on the way back.
Yeah. Could we carry it outside and Enosis like hide it for us in a tree?
Like inside himself, like in his, like in a pocket, like a nature pocket.
I mean,
I-
maybe. Could ask him. He's outside right now.
I don't know how he's gonna feel about not coming with us
I mean-
in Chainless space.
Didn't he already basically accept the fact that he wouldn't even be able to just enter the base?
Just take it out.
Yeah, but I'm sure he'd want to be right outside or something. Maybe catch some stragglers that are like they gave up, and he's like, "No, you're not going anywhere."
I think him taking it with him now might cause some problems. There's always the option of him taking it with him when he leaves back to his world, the Feywild.
Speaking about that, once we free Buttercup, is she gonna leave with him, or are we bringing Buttercup back to what's his face, the kid? I have it written down.
Um,
The kid in River.
Dreek?
Yeah,
Drake, yeah, Drake Silent Foot, yeah.
I mean, Garen doesn't know that.
so, I just
Dude,
wanted
this
to
guy's been watching, bro. he's like, you mean Dreek? Garen doesn't know that. I was like, how you have that off rip?
That's pretty impressive, actually. Xander would have probably spent some time with Zanladir, maybe outside of what RP actually occurred. And even if he didn't, he would have been taking notes when Zanladir mentioned that a door in its default state with no extra fancy attributes which Fulton doors can have, has a default distance of 100 miles.
100. See, I knew it had a distance. It has a distance of 100 miles.
So, you could.
Why do I feel offended after hearing you talk like that?
I mean, you could take it all the way back to the outpost.
No reason to feel offended unless you see yourself within it.
Because that's the voice you always use when you talk about it. You imitate me.
If you guys knew a door in Basriel, you could technically open a door in Basriel. Yeah. Or Sayor or Salagastras. Yep.
No, we need
Because we only have like a
Howl's
basic
Moving
shard,
Castle.
right?
Yeah. We need to pull a Howl's Moving Castle and have like a mobile thing that we can move around with the door in it and
Baba Yaga house.
from there.
Could we make Fulton doors work with Magnificent Mansion?
No.
Oh.
Well, yes,
Sound-
technically yes, but as soon as the mansion goes away, then the Fulton door goes away. And
But if we recast the mansion, does the door reappear in the mansion? Is it like a permanent thing in the mansion, or does it just vanish?
nothing in the mansion is permanent that you incorporate from the outside world.
Are you having fun, Alex?
Drew a square on a hex map. Nice.
Oh, I just got signed out of D&D Beyond.
Oh no. Rip it up.
Also, you guys haven't tinkered with Fulton doors at all. You've not done
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
No, we have not.
Which is interesting. But
It's terrifying, dude.
We don't want to blow up.
Yeah.
This group is a bunch of scaredy pants.
hmm
Garrett just knows
You know,
nothing about magic, so he's
I don't
agreeing
have to
to
take
everything.
this. I should just have Xander walk out.
I don't have to take
what?
this. I fireball
done.
everyone.
All right, so if we're not taking the thing with us, what are we gonna do with it? Are we just done with it then? Like I don't know. We're gonna stand
I'm
around
thinking-
and talk about it, at it.
I'm thinking we come back for it after we're done at the base and think of a more permanent decision once we're not heading towards the Chainless. Whether that's Gnosis taking it or we bring it somewhere like back to Salgastra.
All right, I mean,
I wouldn't.
if it's
wanna-
not here though,
Yeah,
I blame
okay.
Xander and Razir.
Yeah, I mean, we could see if we can move it and, like Al said, hide it somewhere at least.
Can Garen look for like a very large tarp or something?
We have the bear rug.
We have the bear rug.
We have two of those.
Yeah, we can like make it into a litter or something and carry it.
Oh yeah, if he finds something, he's just gonna toss it over. It's like, there you go. No one's gonna find that.
We're not leaving the bear right here. That's for sure.
There's
Absolutely not. That's not an option.
there's like
If-
a
if
ratty
we're-
piece of
if we're-
cloth off to the side that you cover it over with.
Should we leave a note that says "Don't touch"?
That's an
I feel-
excellent idea, B2. I 100% think we should do that.
Hold on. Think of it this way, B2. I know if you came up to something and you saw something that said "Don't touch," you would not touch because you're a
Correct.
reasonable person. Think about though, if Black Star came up to us to a thing that had a note on it that said "Don't touch." What do you think he would do?
He'd burn the note.
If
And then
there's no
touch it.
note, then I can touch it. Exactly.
Yeah. So like, I think that might be more of a less of a deterrent and more of an enticement.
So maybe something like we chisel some piece of metal. He can't burn that, and just put that on top of it.
I think it's the same issue whether it gets burnt or not.
Yeah, I'm still gonna
Um,
touch it probably.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
So I think we just rely on the out of sight, out of mind hope with this blanket over it, and
Does it glow?
make
through
sure
the
we
blanket?
come back from the base.
What did you ask?
Does it glow at all?
Yeah,
Does the god shard glow?
It has a very faint aura to it. It's
Okay,
not
okay.
just like it's a little bit more than a regular magic item would have.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wish there was someone magical who could cover it magically with earth or something. That'd be really cool. Just like some sort of magical person I'm just eyeing Xander, like side-eyed, like
Like
real hard.
Matthias.
Some sort of magic. Oh, yeah, like Matthias. Sensitive.
I couldn't find the tarp big enough to cover the crater though, so that's pretty much a pretty big obvious.
Yeah.
I mean, just
That's
the
a
You
good
did
bar.
job,
good,
Garen.
Garen. You did good enough. It's
You
okay.
did good.
You did good, kid.
You did good, kid.
All right, are we leaving then?
Yeah,
go,
let's get outta
'cause
here.
I feel like there's
Yeah,
things
I
that
think
need to
so.
happen.
Okay. Are you doing anything with the canisters of solium, or leaving those as well?
Do we
I
see him?
mean-
We see him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we see him. Yeah. I mean, B2 might need some more juice. So.
Black Star's gonna take one if they're free for not like leaving. I'm gonna take one.
So there's a half full one to the left and a full one to the right. You probably Black Star's
How
probably
big
gonna
are
go for the
they?
full one. They're about the size of a watermelon, a little bit bigger.
Are there any other containers that I could transfer it into? Something smaller?
Not in the immediate vicinity, no.
Was there anything on the ships that I saw? I would rather have a smaller container, like a more portable. Not a watermelon size, it's excessive.
I don't think
He wants
you're
like a
getting
cantaloupe.
the life energy juice out of those containers into anything
I'm saying I
else.
would like a glass beaker.
So while you were on the ship and you were looking around, you didn't do a full investigation of it because of all of the cacophony of what was going on. But
Once
there-
we finished though, and we like sorted things out, and no one was getting slapped in their mouth anymore, you know, I would have looked.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Oh, there he
Oh,
goes.
we lost him.
Yeah, we lost him. I mean, that is...
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, he's back.
he's back.
Yeah, went a whole hour without having any issue.
So you guys didn't say you were investigating the ships after the conversation ended. You said we were getting out of here like right now so we can make progress and get towards the base. But that's what
Yeah,
we're here
that's true.
doing now. The outcasts themselves are in the ships currently and doing their thing and fully investigating. So if you want to go back over there and poke your head in and see what's going on, you can do that. We'll say that you do so with no negative interactions with them, and there are no... There's a discarded health potion that is full. That like so tink 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 hits the ground from what their outcasts are going through. A compartment that you
How much money
Right.
did we get from that chest too?
haven't
So
counted
we
yet.
haven't.
Okay. I was just wondering if if you guys had discussed it after I left or not.
So you have this vial, the health potion. I don't know how serious you are about going through with this. So.
I'm very serious. I'm gonna dump the health potion. Like if no one's looking, I just dump it. Black Star is wasteful. He's almost American, honestly.
Dumps the health potion. So you have the canister. I mean, you guys, everybody, the canister itself definitely glows. It's got a light blue glow. It emits light, like dim light, let's say in like a 5-foot radius around it. So everybody would have seen Black Star go over and pick this up. And I'm assuming that at least Razier, probably Xander, and definitely Louise, I don't know about the other two, would be watching Black Star to see what he's doing with this. He just picked it up and walked away with it.
You guys don't trust me with the things that I get into. No
I
one's
know I'm
paying
making
attention.
assumptions and taking
I'm-
away player agency, but like, I mean, I just know.
I'm starting. I think Xander's starting to get to a point where he's kind of loosening the reins a little bit. So even if he clocks it, he's kind of like, it's instead of a straight up stare, it's more of a side eye at this point.
Let me just pull up one thing. Sorry, 1 second.
I think B2 is helping Garen get the cloth just right, so it just looks more natural. We're just Garen and B2 are hyper focused on this cloth thing.
Pull it more on your side.
Oh, okay. Should I
That's
throw
much,
dirt
that's
on it
much.
to make it pivot?
So Black Star, at the top of this canister, there is like a handle that you figure out that you can turn it. It doesn't have like a spout, like it's not necessarily intended to be poured out of. The bottom of it has like a receptacle that looks like it would plug in or fit into something, which is the pedestal that it was on. It was set into it, and you had to like turn it counterclockwise to get it to lift up and off of this pedestal. And the bottom of it like looks like it would fit into maybe a ship or some other device that would allow it to dump its contents into something else. But you can't manually trigger that because you don't have something to do that with that would get it into the vial. So the top does have a handle. You untwist it and it opens up, and you kind of
I want to use Mage Hand real quick and see if Mage Hand is working, because I know like the last time it got sputtered out, but was that when I touched it or just in the general vicinity of it?
I think that was the well mechanic.
That was the well.
The mechanics of the wells.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just the well itself.
Right. So
Yeah, this is the byproduct of what gets broken down.
So this is the first interaction that any of you have had with the solium material itself. But you can use your Mage Hand and kind of dip it into the liquid, and it doesn't sputter out or do anything crazy.
Does it get shiny when it goes in and comes out? Like I put it in wax or something, so it's all cool looking now.
Yeah. It's got this like nice sheen to it. It glows for a couple seconds before it comes out. After 6 seconds of the top being open, you hear a hissing sound, and the solium very, very rapidly begins to evaporate. Just starts to like disappear.
I
from the
scoop some with the Mage Hand into the beaker, and then I'm gonna close it.
So you probably lose about 10% of the entire canister in the process of filling the one vial. You put the cork on the vial, and you have a vial of solium.
And it's not evaporating in the little vial or anything?
Nope.
Interesting. All right, I put it back on, and I'm gonna look around and see if anybody's watching me. If they are, I wave.
You're not doing this secretively, I don't think, right?
Not at all.
Nope. Open. So, is anybody addressing this or just letting it be?
And just let it be.
Okay.
Careful with
Garen is too focused.
Don't touch it or nothing. Don't know what it'll do to you yet.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna touch it. I remember the well thing, so I'm not sure like how involved I want to get. But I like this stuff, and I want to keep it for a little while. See what we can do with it. Grenades, maybe. You know what I mean?
Grenades?
Solium cocktail. Soliatov cocktail.
Cocktail.
I don't hate the idea, but we do need to recognize we need to
the name a bit.
We need to recognize that this is also a very valuable resource as it stands, and I'm not sure that we should be so ready to waste it on a cocktail. Like the cocktail suggests that it's all going down the drain. That's not what we want. This is a very valuable resource that we can use and study and learn about, and we need to at least try before trying to blow it up.
I mean, yeah, I don't want to waste it, but I do want to hold on to it. So,
okay.
Soliatov cocktail. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, yeah, we'll definitely hold on to it.
Okay. So you bring the canister, which has about 87%. It is 87% filled at this point. What are you doing with the canister?
Can I take this canister on an airplane? Is it small enough for that? Or it's like, do I have to check my bag when I travel?
You definitely have to check your bag, for sure. Yeah, in fact, they would probably take this.
It could be your carry-on.
Yeah, but it's full of liquid.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't take things that much liquid. Even the vial is like even maybe a little too big. I don't know. You can't take water bottles with you. I haven't flown in a long time, so.
Or 22 years late for that.
Anyways,
if I have like a, you know how like sometimes adventurers got like, you know, pockets and stuff for this sort of thing, like a flask pocket. I'll put it in that. I'm just gonna keep it close. I'm not gonna put it in my backpack. I don't want it to get crushed or anything weird.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So
I mean, it's like a metal container, right? Or are you talking about the flask?
My beaker.
The vial.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
The healing potions vials worth of solium, which don't forget to add that to your inventory. So the canister you bring back over and you put it back on its pedestal. or you just just put it on the ground and leave it there.
Yeah, no, I just leave it wherever I had it. I don't put it back. That's not Black Star style.
Just sets
That's
it on
too
the ground.
nice.
Here, I'll put it back. We don't want to alert them to that this is anything special, so I'll pick it up.
Black Stars are like
Put it back.
halfway across the room. Thanks.
I gotta pee. Actually, Xander
As-
says, "Guys, where's the nearest bathroom?" And then he
We're
goes.
going out in the woods. As I'm bringing the canister back, I'm looking at this full vial of life energy, maybe, whatever it is exactly. And I'm just gonna, in my head, hey, you still around?
Yeah. And Veriloth just kind of walks from behind you, just around into your peripheral vision.
Is this stuff in here of any interest to you? Like, it's supposed that like it's some kind of life thing, right? Is this,
You doing this near the god
this
shard?
reason? I mean, whatever side the full one came from. I'm not
Okay,
walking
so-
over to the god
Sure.
shard to do
Sorry,
this.
so then
I'm-
this is just you and him then, and Xander.
Nah, he's peeing.
He went outside to use the bathroom. It would have a helpful purpose later, but right now it's not something that we should be concerning ourselves with unless we can figure out a way to use it.
So you can't like. This ain't something you gonna like consume or nothing.
No, it doesn't work like that, unfortunately. I wish.
All right.
Oh, things would have been so much different if that were the case. I mean,
Sure.
I know it's the way that they use to power things, like those vessels over there. Get them up off the ground and moving.
Right, the floating ships.
They used to use it to power entire cities, to power weapons, whether at range or not.
I'll make a phone call right quick, but I'm here listening. Just so you guys know.
Other things as well, that were useful. But as of right now, unless you can get that, bucket of bolts up and running, I don't see that there's any use for this right now.
Right.
Maybe
Alright,
take it with you.
just wanted
I
to-
don't think it has any. I don't think it has any explosive properties, but I'm not an expert in that technology.
I think we'll leave it here just to be safe. I'll put it back.
Chink. Mhm.
Right. No, let's walk back over to the group to
Mhm.
get ready to leave.
So, having concluded your business in Solium 460,
Xander would have heard. I asked Veriloth if he could suck the life juice, and apparently that's a no-go for him. Just so you have that info.
I would have heard what? I'm sorry.
I asked Veriloth if he could drink the juice,
Oh, and he said no.
and
Okay.
he can't. He explained he said
it's
they
that
use
he
it to
can't.
power this, to power that.
Okay.
He said it doesn't
that
work like that.
Okay. Understood.
He doesn't like blue Kool-Aid.
Only
Yeah.
likes the red.
yeah, what Eric was starting to explain just very briefly was that Verilas said that it was used to power various devices, like the ships that are in the hangar, various kinds of weapons, they used it to power entire cities, which probably would disturb Xander immensely, knowing where it comes
Yeah.
from. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, yep. So, unless Xander wanted to chime in there, everybody's done in Solium 468. You head off on your journey, 3 or 4 hours of travel, and arrive finally at your place of rest. The tiny hut is put up. Xander does his 6 hours of scribing. During this time, is there any RP? Because you guys are settling down for the night. This is actual nighttime now. And
Yeah. I know that I remember, if I recall, Alex said that Black Star wanted to talk to B2, so we'll have to wait for when he comes back. But
okay. I can't imagine that nobody else wants to talk right now.
Taking a vow of silence, actually.
Yeah,
and
he,
eventually
actually,
go
he took a level
join
in
Duke.
Bonk.
Yeah, I'm gonna go join Duke eventually, so I got to start now.
Wow.
Um, yeah, no. Um, right. Conversation. Hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like Xander and Razir would have words, but unfortunately, Razir didn't witness the aspiring leadership that Xander took last session. So there are no words on that front. Um,
I mean, you could talk to him as though he had, and
I
Eric can
could.
just
Um,
Do my best.
I'd probably want to chat a little bit with Black Star actually. Let me
okay.
think. Let me think. I'm always the one who does so. I talk to like four people per long rest. I can't keep doing this.
The boy has a
Dun,
lot to
dun,
talk
dun.
about.
Well, and, you and I already did our conversation too last session. So,
A lot on his young mind.
Yeah.
do you think we would have had that conversation alone or with the group?
I mean, it depends. I don't think we were inside of the bubble when we had the conversation. If we're having conversations within the bubble, then that's like sleeping in a studio bedroom with 8 siblings.
Blackstar
Um,
will throw a pillow at you.
yeah, exactly. So,
We've just been waiting for you to get back. I'm sure you heard that whole thing.
I did hear that whole thing. So he can't drink the liquid, which is kind of depressing because I wanted to see what would happen. But I guess that's fine. Blackstar now wants to drink the Solium or
Okay. So, Chris
all
had
right.
said,
So
yeah.
go ahead.
So the Black Star wanted to have a conversation with B2.
Blackstar's about to have a conversation with a bunch of people. Sorry, Xander's over here complaining about it. I gotta talk to 4 people every time. I can't keep. Well, you're about to have a conversation anyway. Okay,
dude,
so...
I was gonna talk to you anyway.
Blackstar's got a lot of talking to do right now. He's still kind of salty about everything that happened in that hangar, but he's mostly concerned about his good robotic friend B2 and how he got a little dark there, a little dark. So at some point while we're walking, Blackstar would sidle up to B2. Hey there, big guy. How are you feeling right now?
I am feeling pristine. I, though, am concerned at the same time.
I'm a little concerned too. Like, you were a little off script in there, you know?
Yes, I was conscious hearing those words, but I don't recall choosing those words.
Now I'm more alarmed, but also more concerned. Why? What happened? I don't. What do you mean you don't remember choosing those words? What got you so down like that? What was wrong?
I do not understand. It was interesting to hear a different voice come from me. I do not recognize it. It was when I wield the sword. I've mentioned it before, but I black out. And I am worried that's what was starting to leak through. If it's almost a different programming.
I do remember you talking about the sword before and it changing you. It's almost like you pull a new character out. Do you remember anything about this person after the fact, or?
No, I don't. It's almost like I have shut down. When it's happened before, I would gain consciousness and the bandits that were attacking me were all defeated. But I don't recall defeating them.
Were you like in a back seat somewhere? Like, had you been tied up and put in the trunk, or like you just?
It is like when you go to sleep and you wake up, and
I don't sleep though. You have to explain it better.
oh, um, it is when like Xander closes his eyes and mumbles in his sleep, but we're still doing things because he's young. He goes to bed early. He doesn't
Yeah,
know what
right.
happens.
And he's vulnerable, and we can write on his face.
Yes, you have done that multiple times. I have kept it a secret.
I appreciate you for that. Interesting. And then how many times has this happened? The bandits? This time, but this time, you said you don't remember using the words, but you remember them coming out of your mouth. So you weren't blacked out this time.
Correct. But if I recall, when we fought Cerberoth, there was a moment I was hit, and I remember falling. And then suddenly I was standing, and Cerberoth was gone, and everyone was okay. I don't remember that time. I just figured I had been restored. But from my understanding, I had gotten back up and continued to fight.
Maybe that knocked something loose for you.
Yes. I'm thinking that this other programming is connected to the memories I keep having.
One second.
B2, as you say, the memories I'm having, just like Garen had that flash of memory of this automaton, attacking him or whatever, just a brief flash of memory. What you see is a lightning storm and rain coming down, like just a single, like 1 second video, essentially. And you stand amongst your friends looking up at some kind of apocalypse happening off in the distance, of beams of energy flowing up into the sky. It's just that's the image whoosh, comes through as you say that.
I wonder if there's anyone that we
I
can talk to.
and as he's talking, I grab Blackstar as like an
Oh,
attempt to
Lord.
ground myself.
Blackstar grabs him back.
And then is it only just like a second that happens, or
It's literally
is it...
just a psh, like in a movie where somebody has a
Okay,
like a horror
cool.
movie.
Yeah.
flash memory.
Whoa.
There were
What's the matter?
sudden beams coming down from the sky. But now the
Beans?
beams, not beans.
Right, beams with an M, not beans with an. I would be more concerned if it was beans, though. Honestly, that's really disconcerting.
Yeah,
But-
yes. But
Sudden beams. It wasn't lightning or anything.
there was a storm, but there was beams. Like, it was clearly different from the storm. I've lived long enough to know what a storm is, but this was different.
Yeah, I'm
It was
always
only for a
always confused
second.
as to what you do and don't know.
Yes, that is fair.
Storm. What? That's so strange.
The imagery was very similar to the actual full experience that B2 had of standing atop a pile of bodies. It was basically that same landscape, but slightly different background. That's about it.
Mhm.
We need to find someone who might know more. Like, I
Yes.
feel like if you're falling apart or if you're falling into some sort of deep dark hole, then I don't want that because I like you to. There's a
Thank
lot
you.
that you have to learn still that I will teach you as we travel together. But
You
also,
do
just
seem like the wisest one.
thank you. I am incredibly wise. Like, it hurts me to be this wise most of the time. But at the same time, I don't know. You have to speak to Xander at least or something, because we've got to find some. Maybe they know someone in their highfalutin city of, magic and technology or wherever. I don't exactly know where they're from. I've never been up that far north, but I'm sure with how, well-to-do they are, they've got all sorts of cool things that will help you.
That is a good point. I think I will ask him after we help you with the outcast.
Okay. Well, if you ever feel like you're falling apart or something's going away or you're concerned, you come and tell me. We can talk it through.
Thank you, Black Star.
Of course,
I
B2.
and then just for a moment, he like just freezes. I appreciate you.
And Black Star freezes. You're welcome. And then I'm
And
gonna turn into B2. Like, I'm here for you.
thank you. And he goes, I can't turn into Black Star, but
It's okay. I'm special.
and he does the civil, and he just kind of he starts picking up his pace, like he's kind of cheered up a little.
Nice. All right. I'm glad you feel better. And then Black Star's gonna look around for Xander and turn into Xander. And then, hey, me! Hey, me! Where are you?
Hey, Link.
Hey, I still hate when you do that.
Just obnoxiously walking up behind Xander. Hey, it's me! Hey, can I talk to me?
Just from the other side of the camp. You might hate it, but it's pretty funny.
Then I'm turned back into Black Star and sit down. Like, but on a more serious note, Xander. I need your help.
My help?
Yes. Yes, Xander. I know. It's almost unheard of.
What do you want?
I don't want to be as much of a liar anymore. I feel like it was too dramatic, the hanger thing. It's been weighing on me. It made me mad. I don't know if you saw me get angry with the what do they call themselves? The morons. What are they?
The outcasts, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, where I'm from, outcasts are morons anyway. So
That's fair. But I just it's concerning to me that I feel this way, but at the same time, I was like this in Town Noro. I was a little different in Town Noro. Got a bit of a stage presence at this point, but I just feel like I just don't feel like this is working right now. I don't know. It's over the top. Dramatic is good in some circumstances, but at the same time, I just feel like that whole fiasco.
well, it's partially because we don't need to rely on that. I mean, I don't know what things were like in Telnoro, but maybe,
Different.
but right, of course, but maybe part of life was putting on that show, putting on this face and facade that you were somebody different, somebody, who was either more capable or one or another. But I mean, we're getting to a point now where one, we can handle ourselves, but two, I think we're getting to a point where we're able to be called the good guys.
Ooh, I don't know how that sits with me. I like the neutral guys, maybe. Like I feel like good's a stretch. I'm not.
I
I
mean,
mean, Razir killed someone,
look,
and I
there's
say it loud enough for
in
Razir
this
to hear.
in this group, I believe that there's four good guys and two guys with the
Black Star looks around real
potential
quick.
to be good, if not great.
Wow. I mean, I'm.
And we don't need to lie to be there.
Oh,
Sometimes it's going to get us out of a sticky situation, don't get me wrong. And sometimes it might be necessary. I'm coming around to that. But unfortunately, there's so much more gray to things than I thought there was.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? Gray is really,
It's
it's a good
awful.
color. No, it's lovely.
And I feel like most of those gray situations are solved by just being honest.
Oh, I didn't think you'd say that, honestly, but okay. I
Like
mean,
I said most.
right.
There are some situations where I would love for you to put on a show, but
Really?
I I would.
Nice. Okay. We're on the same page a little bit. Um, I think I agree with you though. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but just now in the hangar, I just don't
It
I
it
don't
it was a lot. It was a
it
lot.
was a lot.
And if I mean, I thought you were in serious danger. If you hadn't caught
That was
me,
really good, right? That was
it was really good. And if you hadn't caught me and I wasn't so worried about preserving the delicacy of that strange ship that it is, I might have just fireballed you. I don't know.
That's okay. I don't mind the fire. I mean, that's really not that big a deal.
Right, yeah, good one.
Yeah, but
Um,
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
but
I,
it I think that we're both coming around to different parts of each other, where one's a little more honest and the
you're coming
other's
on to me right now.
uh,
It's nice of you,
um
but I'm trying to be serious here. I don't know
no,
what you're thinking.
it's you're reading into it wrong. I'm saying
Oh,
I'm
okay.
coming around a bit more to lying and
Say it again. I like it the way you say it. How'd you do that?
I don't and
Lying.
you're coming around a bit more to being honest. And I think
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
yeah, yeah, it's the same. It's the same.
I don't know if I'm ready for that one yet. Okay, I see
But
it. I think you're right.
I think I think this is good. I you remember that conversation that we had on the roof back in
Mhm.
yeah,
Sayor, yeah.
and you told me that I just got to kind of get through it and
You gotta,
fake
live
it.
a little. Fake it till you make it.
I think I'm ready to tell Louise.
I, like about
About
your new
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, about my new stuff.
I thought the guy dimed you out already in front of.
He might have, but I don't think I've actually said it.
It would probably be better coming directly from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, he's probably picked up on it. There's not a lot that gets past him,
Yeah, I know. I can't stand that, honestly.
but
It's like the worst part about him.
but I did want to thank you. Um I think that without that conversation on the roof and the whole fake it till you make it thing, I don't think I would have been able to do what I did back there. It kind of felt like I was a little bit like you, like putting on a show, but in my own way, you know? Like
Yeah.
I was being somebody that I'm normally not, and
Yeah. You played a doctor on TV.
I didn't hate it. What on what?
No, don't worry about it.
Oh,
Yeah, it's this thing in town, Nora. It's okay.
but I just it just I think I got a lot of confidence from just thinking about that and
Isn't it nice?
confidence.
Yeah, I have so much of it.
It's so anxiety inducing having to
Oh, I'm.
act
That's
like
not.
having to act like something you're not. But
I don't understand that at all.
I want to be that one day so I don't have to be worried anymore.
Right. You know the thing that I always think of Because anytime you go somewhere new or meet someone new, they don't know anything about you. We all know you. So it's harder to lie to us, like for you at least, a person of your skill level. But like brand new people who have no idea who you are, you could be someone different every time. And just practice it. You don't have to overtly lie, but just change details a little. Maybe you're not 18. Maybe you're 21 and you just look young, right? Oh, you're carding me again? This hasn't happened in years. Just a little things so that you're not like one big show all the time. Little couple little tits and tats, but I think I'm on the opposite end. I need to straighten my moral compass a little bit. Not me personally, but like rely on you, good people, to do it for me so that I'm not always lying. I've lied enough, and I just not so dramatic.
Well, when we're everywhere else, at least until we get a vibe of the place, we'll play by our rules as a group and be straight up, or if the situation calls for it, we'll tell a little lie. But the second that we step into Talnoro, that's all you.
I mean, great. It's gonna happen.
I will not. If that day ever comes,
it's coming.
I will not step on your toes. I might throw up a lot, but I will just follow your lead.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I appreciate that. And until then, I will think WWXD. What would Xander do when I'm about to lie? And then I'll probably lie anyway, but I will give it a thought.
At least you thought about it, and that's
exactly.
The first step.
We've talked about this, and whoa, we're still on the first step. Then I feel like we've had this conversation. I'm gonna take the next step, and I'm gonna say it twice to myself, and I might even only lie one. You know what? I'll try to tell the truth at least once a day for right now, to a random stranger.
I think that's good.
But I'm still gonna steal from people because that's not the same as lying. So that's not gonna give that one up.
Okay, I
get some cool stuff from stealing. So I don't think it's fair to me.
I like that part of you.
Okay, I do too.
You get me cool things, and I still feel bad about it, but less.
We got you that rifle. Was that exciting? Or the weapon thing?
Yeah, and you also got me that book from the vampire's house.
Yeah, and I got to slap someone in their mouth, which felt really good. I haven't done that in a long time, so I brought my Talnoro out a little bit. I felt real. It was a little. B2 was in on it too. He was dark. I liked it.
Yeah, that was a lot. Honestly, it kind of had me cringing. I didn't know what was gonna happen next.
Oh, you cringed? I had a robo erection. It's weird.
Oh, a robo.
Just a little bit,
You have an attachment for B2 you haven't told anybody about?
I just picked it up. It's wild. So I feel like I've leveled. So now I've got this new thing I can do. It's cool.
It's like B2 is like not hearing this conversation, but he weighs.
Yeah. It's like I've gone up to level 9 and I just unlocked a new thing,
A new skill.
Suddenly I can hear you guys all the way over there.
This is good. This is good.
It is
I
good.
think this is a good thing.
I would like it if you watched out, because I trust you and your righteousness. Louise is righteous also, but I don't like that he sees everything, so I'm not going to talk to him about it. I don't know. It just seems too much. He's too much. He'll go over the top. You, I feel like, you don't have the confidence he has or the general trollness. And so, I just feel like, you will want to say things sometimes, but you won't always say something, which will give me leeway to do what I want. So, like a pushover, essentially, a little bit.
Well, so there's another part outside of honesty. It's called humility.
What's that mean?
It's being humble and not being mean to others. So calling me a pushover isn't nice.
No, I was told that if you're honest with your friends, it's nicer than lying to them, right? I don't lie to you guys that much.
What? You know what?
Should I not tell you?
No. You know what? I actually prefer this.
Yeah, because if
And
you if
I'll pat him on the shoulder.
thanks, I
This is
appreciate that.
preferable.
Yeah. If someone's going to tell you, it's going to be us, right? Because you don't want people to think that and you not know, and then everyone's taking advantage of your little self, and then you really look like a fool, and then I'm going to have to slap someone again because I can't have anyone else making you look like a fool. That's like our job. And I gesture towards and then I turn back into Xander. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely everyone's job at the camp.
Absolutely.
Yeah, not just yours.
Honesty is important.
I'm
I'll
gonna
turn back into Blackstar.
I'm gonna put up the hut.
Oh, all right. Well, good talk. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too.
All right, then
Why
he
did
pulled
you
out
saying
some.
that feel like you're saying he's gonna sleep outside?
I know, right? I'll pull out the bird pipes and Blackstar just starts playing a little bit.
There wasn't anybody else you were going to have a conversation with?
Yeah, I think so. I'm probably gonna end up talking to Razir also, just because it's Razir and I value his opinion. And he wasn't there last session, so I feel like I wouldn't have made such a dramatic scene if he was there, but it happened. Eric couldn't stop me. I saunter up to Razir. Hey, how you doing?
Doing all right. Doing fine. You holding up after beating you took?
Yeah, I really don't like getting beaten, and I thought it would happen less frequently with the two new guys, but then I got beat anyway, and I really need to take some cues from you and stand a bit further back.
It helps with not getting hit, yeah. They can't
Yeah,
reach you, they can't hit you.
I like that
Kind of learned that
general.
lesson just before we got those two.
Yeah, I didn't, even though I was beaten nearly to death, which I guess makes sense because I don't learn things quickly.
Yeah. Comes with the territory of being the kind of person you are, though.
That's true. And then you've been around a long time, so I feel like you've had plenty of time to learn.
Yeah, I've spent a good number of years not stepping on people's toes, making a scene for myself.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to not make scenes as much anymore. I just had a nice chat with Xander about it, but we'll see how that goes, though. It might just be words right now. Iron out the kinks. What are we doing with this chainless base? What are you after? What, like?
I mean, we're here to destroy it, right?
Right,
That's the
but
goal.
that's our squad goals. But what's
It's also what Garen paid us to do, was destroy this
Oh.
place.
Garen didn't pay? Was it
Garrett.
Garrett. My bad.
Well, he is pretty beefy. He takes up a lot of space, even in the minds of others. So,
Thanks, Garen, for paying us.
finger gun to Garen.
I didn't know his name before I made my character.
Yeah.
Do we have
we're
an
aiming to do
overarching?
that. Also, trying to get the horseback pony.
Oh, that's right,
For
for
the boy.
Dreek. Ooh, are we gonna go see him? Where did they go again? I
They
forgot
went-
that they left.
Tell
They went
Noro.
to tell Nora.
Oh, that's right.
That's what's kind of pulling us in that direction. After we're done here in the Isles, we'll get back to the mainland and make our way to the Caldera.
What are we gonna do about the primordial that they have, that they're trying to capture? Because it's really important to me personally.
Right. Might have to put that on the back burner.
For how long? Just a ballpark, honestly.
Well, that's the thing. It seemed like the Red King was heading there himself to deal with that. So, do we really want to go try and stick our noses in that while he's there, kind of thing?
I just feel like Grignac would be mad at me if I don't do something relatively soon-ish. It's a big thing for him.
Right.
I just want to know where we're like. So we've got this base, and then we're gonna go to Talnoro, link up with Garrett. Then there's another chainless base in the Caldera, correct?
Yeah, that would have been our next step, but maybe we postpone that to go deal with your thing.
There's so many things that we have to do. I just feel like
Yeah, stuff
We-
is adding up a bunch these days.
it is. But then the other thing is like this is like just big ticket items. Like where's all the small adventures that you read about in the books? Like I want to go save a cat from a tree and then have the tree try to eat me and then burn the tree. And then subsequently find out that there's a hive mind of other trees that need to be burned, and then we go and burn all of them as well. Just a fun little adventure.
That's a real specific one, but I get what you're saying. I think we're kind of doing a few things here and there on the way, but I mean,
hold on. I'm sorry. I gotta take your call.
Right in the middle of his RP moments. Dude, Xander is currently making the hut, and in the middle of doing the ritual, he goes, "Oh man, I gotta pee again."
Jeez.
Sorry.
All good. I think with what we gotten ourselves into with going against the Chainless, I think that's kind of signed us up for big ticket items from here on.
Were we supposed to explore
yeah.
ruins and stuff though? Like find artifacts and like.
Yeah, I think we'll do that. We don't have to get to this other Chainless base right away. We just kind of, for this one, I think it was just we wanted to get out of River because of what was going on with the Spike Glove being in town and whatnot.
Yeah, that was bad time.
So this was kind of our next stop. But with the Resistance being kicked out of River and hiding out in Tel Noro, they might need time to handle things themselves, so we might be off the hook for a bit of that work for the time being, as far as urgency goes. Could take the time to go do some other stuff, your thing or something else, go find some nearby ruins to look through, see if we can find something nice for us to help us out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I just want to know what direction we're moving in, but I guess you're right. We're tied in with the rebellion right now. So got a couple
Yeah,
things
so
to take care of.
I think it's going to come down to if we can find the pony, and if the pony wants to go back to the boy, or if it wants
You
to go
think
back just to Feywild with.
We're giving it an option? Is that a thing?
I mean, we know it's smart, can think for
Oh,
itself, and
ish.
we ain't captors, so like.
No, it's not. We're not captors. Dreek will be so sad if we don't bring it back to him. Or he doesn't get to say goodbye.
Yeah, but if this is the way back to his home with an Gnosis,
Yeah.
that might be what he needs to do.
Maybe we could get him to like do a hoof print into like some sort of mud, and then we can cast it. You know, like a memento for Dreek or something. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, be real nice.
Also,
for
I mean,
you.
we've got. I think Xander's got some plans for some long distance communication magics, and we've got the stones, and supposedly Dreek's with Garrett. So
Oh, that's true. Okay.
we got
The-
ways of telling him. Maybe
pony
we could use
can't
that to
talk
let
either.
them. Maybe they could talk to each other or something. I don't know. Winnie over using it or something. I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get to
Okay.
it. But
Yeah, I feel like you're
we
going
got-
down a rabbit hole at this point.
yeah, something. I don't know. I'm just worried about dealing with the base because
Okay. Yeah, the base.
the last one we were at was sparse. There was just a handful of fellas, and that was kind of it. It was more of a hidden spot. This is like secret base out in the woods. Going to probably be a bit more full of folk, and
Right.
might be a bit more for us to deal with.
And then when I went there, you guys had already dealt with most of it anyway, hadn't you?
Yeah, we dealt with the actual Chainless at that point. It was the
Raiders of Islasnarian.
guard regiment from Islasnarian that had been sent out that we were just trying to
Oh,
dodge.
that's right. Those guys.
didn't
Weren't
know
they
who
the
was
B
working
team
with
of
them.
it? Like the Raiders B team?
Yeah, it was the second or third team of the
Yeah.
Islasnarian Raiders. So, I'm just thinking about what we're going to be dealing with. Hopefully, a Gnosis can get in and provide some extra, well, I'd say muscle, but bark? Wood? I don't know.
Something.
Maybe he can help. Whether
Are
he
you
can
saying
help or
Enosis
not.
is all bark, no bite?
Hopefully not. We
Yeah, for real.
saw him fight with the Shadowfell folks, so we know he's relatively good.
Something. All right. Well, I mean, I just feel like I had to check in with you, leader guy. You know, since you are a leader, and you know
That's far from the truth.
the general man behind the helm, like, just controlling what we're doing and where we're going. So
Right.
I'm just glad to be able to, touch bases with you every once in a while. It's nice. Plus, you're like the only not nice person here, which is just, it's refreshing. So,
That's true.
yeah. The rest of them would just grind me a bit. Like, they're nice people, but that's the problem. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's see when you're dealing with somebody you know is not nice or likes to lie, you know what to expect from them. But it's the nice folk
Exactly.
that can like surprise you the most when they do turn on you.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like,
They're the ones that can stab you in the back the easiest.
you don't trust someone with a smile on their face.
B2 waves again.
I wave at B2. Smile.
Man,
I'm concerned about that one.
if that fella could actually smile, I'd be way more concerned than I am.
Way more concerned. Like, his face is a boon, honestly.
Because like he doesn't do emotion, so like if he could just smile
Not at all.
and there's no other emotion with it,
That'd be.
off-putting.
Yeah. I don't like the thought. I'm gonna have nightmares about that and beans falling from the sky at this point.
Beans?
Yeah, beans. Yeah, don't worry about it. It's a weird thing that I've got in my head now, but still,
All right.
falling beans,
Fallen beans.
falling beans, just bunches
I
of them.
guess.
I mean,
If
it would
there's
be,
enough, it could hurt you. Yeah.
yeah, it'd be terrifying. I don't have an umbrella for beans. I'm not rated against bean falling from the sky. It doesn't make any sense.
Right. Well, you worry about that, and I guess I'll keep an eye on the sky a bit
Yeah,
during the
please.
watches for bean rain.
If you feel any beans, let me know. I'm not okay. Black Star's
You'll
gonna
be the first to know if I feel beans.
starts mumbling about beans and gets up and just walks away. If they fall, how would I stop them?
Whoever is closest to me, I'll just like look over keep an extra eye on him tonight. He might not be all right. Did he get hit in the head? Like,
We'll say it's Garen.
Oh, Garrett's at a. I have a whole thing. Garrett's at a stone. He found a
Oh.
boulder. So unless they're near this boulder that I
All right,
found.
well then it's Louise that's sitting next to. Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't make it rain beans, but it could be berry.
Louise just completely berry rain. Yeah.
I mean, that could get him for a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe not tonight. Maybe.
Yeah, but about the
get-
hit on the head, I'm pretty sure that's from long before we met him.
I dropped as a baby a few times. Alright.
Your mother used you when she was as a weapon when she was getting buffed.
All right. Well, that's if Garen's at a rock, is Garen easily noticed at his rock? Or did you
He's
go
not
step
hiding it.
away?
He stepped away to look for a rock, and from what you can see, he's talking to the rock.
I'm not going to interrupt that. I'll
Yeah,
talk
he's
to
got
Garen.
cuckoo.
Yeah. I'm talking about beans now, and I see Garen talking to rocks, and I'm like, I'm not the only one.
I don't need a third thing.
Yeah. I said I'm gonna lay down now. I don't.
Oh
And
god,
I look up at the. Xander, you're putting up the hut, right?
Sorry, I had to pee. I have to restart.
Okay, all right. Well, come on. 'Cause
I throw a few berries at Black Star.
it's starting. I'm just gonna play my bird pipes as I just a sad like. Bean rain.
Alright. I'd
So,
like
I mean,
to talk to the group like in general, because
Can
that.
we do that after we take care of Garen's thing?
Oh yeah, yeah,
I want to just
yeah, yeah.
whatever.
Go for
I
it.
don't know if Jay, if you had something you were
yeah,
wanting to do,
yeah. Garen,
and then we can get the whole group involved afterwards.
whenever we like, he found a moment to himself, uh, went to look for a large enough a rock like comparable to his size. This isn't for collecting purposes.
I know,
Does he
I know what the purposes of it are
does he
for.
find one?
Um,
Because I know we're not in like the best area for rocks, but I don't know.
um,
If not, I
just
have another plan.
just make an. I'm gonna ask you for an arbitrary investigation check.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said arbitrary because
Why
it
do
will
why do I
actually
keep
affect.
thinking I'm good at that? Where is it? Oh. Ah.
It's not like it's a high DC or anything. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay.
fine. Okay, so it takes you probably like maybe 10 minutes. You kind of wander off away from the group, maybe no more than 100 feet away. I'm sure that Louise and or B2, maybe Blackstar, and I don't know why I keep doing that where I'm naming people, but some people from the group probably noticed that you walked away.
Right. I'm gonna sit next to it. Hey man, you don't know me. I don't know you, but I kind of need to get something off my chest since it seems like we're pretty close to doing this. You don't even know what this is, but right now we're about to do something really important for the world, and I gotta be honest, I'm nervous. Uh, I don't want to bore you with my entire life story, but where I'm from, I'm not really known for doing well in the things that I try to do. It wasn't until getting this glyph that stuff started happening for me. I started actually helping out with fights and protecting high elves with people much like yourself. But then I got captured, and then I tried to escape a jail and failed twice. And I thought that was it. I thought I'm just meant to fail. There's no silver lining. And then I meet this group who, if I'm being honest, I think they think I'm awesome and that I just have it all together. But we've only been doing well because they're so great. I'm sure I'm doing something. Like people pay attention to me, and I managed to soak up a lot of the damage for them. But that's it. It's all I am. So it's really them. And I want to make sure they don't see me as a failure, you know? Like anything that comes to you, let's say rain or a bird or I don't know, something tries to move you, you're gonna stay right there. That's what I need to be. I need to be solid as a rock. That makes a lot of sense. Thanks. I just I can't fail again. This is the one thing that I promised that I would do, and my best friend believes in me. My mom said I was dumb, but she believes in me. And my dad just gave me a couple of rocks because he knew that it meant a lot to me. He's not really a guy that talks a lot. I don't know how your parents are, but uh My parents, I look up to them a lot. They're they've done so much for my community, and if I can do if this can be the thing that I can be known for succeeding in to them, then I know it was all worth it. All even past all the failures, all the jobs and all the losing fights. Like you can't even imagine before I could turn into you or something similar. I I don't know what I was doing. I'd most of the time I'd be saved by you guys, rock folk. I would be in the heat of battle. It would start off good. I know what I was doing for the most part, and I'm a pretty big guy. So like I would think I could hold my own, and then something just catches me off guard, and I'm at the brink of potentially losing more than just a fight. And then these guys just saved me. And I I know that's not really a failure, but that never when I got this, that was never the case anymore. Sometimes I would help them. I'd save them. Not really. It's not like they were like afraid. They're made of stone, but I would hold my own. I wouldn't be a liability. I need this to go well. I don't know what happens next, but I need this to be something I don't fail at. And with these guys, I don't really think that's going to happen. I need to let this out. And I couldn't do that in front of them. You understand. That's why you guys don't say anything, and I'm assuming that's because you don't want anyone knowing like your flaws or like how not as strong as people think you are. Anyways, thanks for the chat. I needed this. I'm Garen, by the way. Yeah, I just probably should have opened with that. But anyways, good night.
From Garen's perspective, there is the feel of a very firm embrace from an unseen source. But Garen believes,
Ghost hugs.
well, knowing what I know about Garen, it's just a warm embrace. It's comforting and can take comfort in the fact that, Garen was able to express himself as he needed to, and can have more confidence for what's to come based on that.
This is very helpful.
Feel a connection to home. And apart from all of that, looking up at the top of the rock, it looks like there's the shape of an individual kind of perched on top of it and kind of like flickers for a moment. It's almost like a shadow, like as though the shadow of someone is sitting there and then there's someone there and then they kind of flicker out of existence. And oddly, it looks like a dead person. A corpse, mangled and bruised and bloodied. Just one knee kind of crossed over the other and the elbow up and kind of doing one of these thoughtful motions and looking down at you, but only for an instant. Razir, you look over about 120 feet away and Veriloth sits perched on the rock looking down at Garen. Clear as day.
I can see him?
No, for you,
Okay.
I gave you your your visual
Gotcha.
perspective that flickered for a moment and then kind of went away and came back for like a second and then flickered and went away.
Gotcha.
Seems as though, well, Garen has no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
And Razir doesn't know that Garen is seeing this, so. But Razir does know that Veriloth is perched up top of this rock, looking down at Garen. For what reason, you don't know. But yeah, it's a little off-putting from the comfort that you just received from this rock. That's all.
I'm gonna shrug it off because I was feeling good. I'm gonna tap the rock, and I'll come say hello in the morning before we ship out, and then I'll walk back to the group.
Okay. The only person who hasn't had the opportunity to have any real conversation is Louise.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to the group
I
before we
appreciate
got-
that, Tim.
Yeah.
Calling Garen's conversation a real conversation. It's really sweet.
It was
To him, it
really-
felt great.
It was
needed it.
really well. I think I can speak for everybody saying that it felt great for all of us too.
So
All right, what's for
that's
dinner?
Yeah. So just as we're all sitting down to eat, here are your berries, Garen.
No.
I'm just messing with you. I made some food.
Okay.
So when we left the outcast back there, we told them we were going to raid a Chainless base. Do we trust them? Because one of them did try to put a tracker on Xander, and them being ex-Chainless, I feel like they might stop ties to them, even though
I don't trust them at all.
Yeah, even though their leader said they don't. But
No, they're still bad guys in my eyes.
When you want to deal with a rival gang in Talnoro, you plant a spy. That way you know what they're doing. They can't really disrupt your actions. You feed them false information.
is that what you are?
Oh, for you? No, because you guys have no affiliation with Talnoro. If you were a gang in Talnoro, yes, there's a good chance I would be planted as a spy in your gang. But we're all friends here, so it's okay.
What was that?
Yeah.
Why did you wink at me?
I just think you're handsome.
Okay.
I mean, anyway.
Garen blushes.
So to
Um,
get back to what I was saying, if the outcasts do end up showing up, what do we do? Do we just go in with them? Do we keep them at a distance?
I think we stay at a distance until the job is done.
I don't think we should reveal ourselves to them at all.
We need to keep our
Yeah.
backs watched. I don't
Yeah,
want to
They can't be behind us.
I don't want to get caught in a hallway.
General rule of thumb.
I don't want to get caught in a hallway and get sandwiched between ex-chainless and chainless, because it's arguably the worst possible situation. People trying to prove themselves on one side, and people who are trying to turn us into things on the other. And I don't want to be caught in that situation. So if they see us, that's great. If they go in before us, that's great. I can live with them thinking that they stopped the chainless at the end of the day. I don't need to be some hero. I just want to get the job done. And I think my bottom line is that I don't want them behind us. If we go inside and the entrance collapses, then I'll be okay. But under no circumstances do I want them behind us until the job is said and done, and I can comfortably leave and we can have a conversation with them at some point.
All right. So I just wanted to be sure about that before we got to the situation. We just all panicked. And Zender, I know you said you were going to be scribing the sending scroll you got earlier. But could you contact Garrett, see how they're doing back in Telnoro, and to tell them maybe does Garrett know about the God Shards?
We have no clue. I can use the sending stones if you
Yeah,
want.
tell them maybe we found one
Sure.
and that we should be getting to the Chainless base tomorrow, like giving a heads up.
Yeah. Um, Here, I'll do it now. Take out the stone. Felix, put up your hands. Garrett. On the Radolath Isles.
Ew.
Radolath is one word.
Yeah,
So on the Radolath Isles, 5 words.
That's right.
on the red alert. So yeah, 4 plus a Garrett.
Garrett. Yeah.
Will be at base tomorrow. Stumbled upon a God Shard. Is God Shard one word?
No.
Okay. Any information on those, we will keep you updated. Ta-ta.
Hugs and kisses.
Ta-ta.
Mwah.
You pooping?
You pooping?
Keeping in mind that it's, it's nighttime. It's not late at night, but it's definitely, the sun has gone down, and waiting for Garrett's response. Felix, what you might, because he only has 25 words to respond with, right? Okay, so you were like super careful with what you were asking for.
Oh, just got out of the bag, guys. How you doing?
He wasn't necessarily expecting this because you haven't talked to him in a little while, a couple days at least.
In a few days, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we talked to him just after we left Siligastro's place. That was the last time we talked to him.
Okay. Was it?
That's when he told us they left River for Telnoro.
Yeah. Oh, I thought that was before that. It was... Really? Okay.
I thought it was before that also.
I thought it was way before that. I thought it was back in Sayor that he told you that. But it doesn't really matter that much necessarily. Just kind of a couple of days difference regardless. Xander. Good to hear from you. We're doing okay. For now. God shards have a strange legend. I can do some research.
He has 5 left.
I can do some.
Yeah, 4. Yeah. I'm dyslexic, all right?
Oh, yeah. 6 words.
Be safe. Don't die.
He said they're doing all right for now. He said he'd look into the God Shards and told us not to die.
That is good advice.
Yeah, well, I feel like it's advice we're getting more and more.
For good reasons. Alright, so...
Enosis, who this whole time has been rooted next to the hut and listening to probably most of these conversations. I don't know about...
Oh, Lord, you're still here?
Garen's conversation with
he blends
with
it with the forest.
But,
Oh, God.
So, tomorrow we're going to set upon this chainless base and find my beloved Bertrude and try to see if we can locate her and bring her back from whatever horrible thing she's experiencing. And if we're able to, then I will be mostly in your debt. if I am not the one to, bring her back from the brink, that is. But do you know what this place looks like, or what you're expecting to encounter, and how you're going to go about doing this, or is it more of a plan as we go and hope we don't die kind of scenario?
Yeah, that's the one.
That's
That
yeah.
second one.
That's pretty much what most of my life has been.
Hmm.
That's kind of why I gel with these guys
it.
so well.
Yeah.
I think in general, it's clear out the Chainless themselves, and then any kind of work they got going on, we might destroy it or take it or something. Whatever the plan may be is gonna. I mean, without knowing what's in the base, which we have no way of knowing, kind of have to go by that.
I don't know really anything about it, but from what I can tell, my limited time on this plane, and seeing what they've done as far as sending out their various cohorts from other places to try to do their bidding. What if there are 50 or 60 or 100 of them? What are you going to do then? Can 6 of you and myself take on 100 Chainless?
There's a chance.
Yeah,
Oh,
it wouldn't be
but-
the first time though.
You've taken on
But-
100 Chainless?
Not
You
a
guys have
hundred,
taken out
but
100? Oh, okay.
similar. I mean, not similar in that instance, but what I think 20 at once was one of
Yeah,
the
in
first
the
times.
in the first lab.
Yeah, about between 10 and 20.
Definitely less than that. But again, we're gonna, we just have to try
Less
and show
than
up and
that.
We have to take
Yeah, it
advantage
wasn't-
of the element of
too many.
surprise.
yeah, if we have to go in sneaky like and take them out one by one, or groups or whatever, we'll play it as we come to it.
But once we get in there, though, we're not going to be able to rest at all. Like, we're going to have to figure. Is there like a secret way? Should we look around like before we start charging headlong or anything?
That'd be a
Probably,
good idea.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
some little recon.
Well, I just want to say before we arrive, and in case it's only a few hours away or less, and we get close and you have to make some quick decisions, and I'm for some reason not able to follow you, I'll do whatever I can, but I'm afraid that a moving tree amidst other trees is something that can be seen, even from sometimes a great distance, depending on how thick the foliage is. But wouldn't be the first time I've been sighted from a distance. So, at a certain point, if we see anything ahead, if I see anything ahead, if you do, I would say that I should slow down. I'm just letting
probably.
you know. If I start to lag behind, that's why.
Is there anything you
fair.
want us to do if we find your significant tree other,
Bertrude.
Bertrude?
Just ensure her safety and make sure that she gets out alive and bring her back to me. And if for some reason I don't make it, figure out a way to get her home.
Is there a place you'd like to have her meet you? Should we identify like some sort of rally point as we get closer to this chainless area in case we all get split up somehow or something?
If there's a spot that makes sense, maybe
Back
I
at
think
that
I
tower?
may have to be a couple 100 feet away. But yeah, depends on how much damage she sustained. If she's been, I don't know. I don't want to dwell on the possibilities of.
Right, just general heist questions is all. I'm just thinking of like how we would do it, like in
Think the
heist,
tower-
failed heists.
I think the tower is a good rally point. It's only maybe a day's travel. It's far enough away. And it's where I will
Tower it is.
retreat back to. It sounded like when you were coming out of that place you were in, you were talking about maybe going back there anyways, so I think it makes sense that if everything goes awry, I'll just head back there and hope that you'll eventually come back as well.
Makes a lot of sense.
And couldn't we use your movement to our advantage? Maybe that would pull some chainless out of the base and we could catch those Chainless that are coming to investigate. Eliminate a few early.
Little distraction, little bait.
And then we
Yeah.
can wear their costumes and their skin and get back inside
Okay,
undetected.
I was on your side for a second there, and you said skin.
Yeah.
Oh, I said that part out loud. I mean, I
Also,
just mean their outfits.
Like, I'm a pretty big guy. I don't know if they have some people.
Plus, being such an
Like they don't
out
have
of the
enough
way
skin for you?
base.
I don't. I mean, I could go in, like, with just like a helmet on and like my normal attire, if they could. I don't know if that'll work.
I feel like they'd probably be like, "Who's the new guy?"
Yeah,
Or-
just play it
Then-
off. I'll do a Black Star. I'm like, hey, I'm the new guy.
Then again, they're a remote base. I'm pretty sure they know when they get new guys, and they know who works there normally.
Yeah, probably.
That's fair, but he could also pretend to be a prisoner after that's what they investigated.
That's true. So I would not wear that helmet.
Or
Yeah,
the
but I
skin.
mean, the rest of us, like the only one who could actually look like one of, like an actual Chainless is Black Star.
True,
Yeah.
but maybe
You guys
that's all we need. Maybe he could lie good enough.
We can
I
like
can
hide
stay
everyone
a
in the
little.
hole. Then I can just go by myself.
That went
It
so
sounds like a
well
I don't
last
see how that
idea.
could ever be a problem.
We do have new, stronger friends. Try that again, maybe.
We do.
Let's wait a bit to try that again.
Yeah, maybe not. I think this is going to be a situation of because we had no way of knowing what this place was like. It's not like we can go anywhere to find out, so it's going to be a reconnaissance as we go and scouting out the place and making decisions on the fly.
Yes. It might, for
Also,
all we know,
we're not-
it might only be 5 people.
Yeah, and we're not quite on any kind of time crunch here, so like we can take our time and like stake out the place and watch any kind of goings in and out and try and get some more idea of who's in there, how many people are in there and whatnot, and look for other ways in and out.
I think it would be
Take our
smart
time
to
with
be a
it.
little more cautious this time.
Yeah.
Yes. And maybe if we take enough time, it will give someone more time to design the layout of it.
That's, I think at the rate that we're going tonight, we're going to be perfectly fine.
That's
su-
always the case.
Which sucks because
Always the case.
I'm out next week. I
Oh,
can't make Friday.
no.
Look at this guy; he has a life.
I know.
Oh, man. You're
My
gonna
friends
miss-
and I, we haven't played 40K in 6 months, and it's the only
Okay.
day we can.
Ah.
So
You've got the itch.
we got the itch.
Yeah. All right. So, did that interrupt a conversation? Was there more conversation to be had there?
I was just saying, I think we have time. We can take our time and scout it out more and make decisions as we learn what the base is like.
Yeah.
So I think that's all we really can do. And yeah, I think Novus, you're right. You could be, depending on what the terrain around the place is like, you could be easily spotted. So yeah, it might have to have you stay back at first, and then we'll come get you when we know what's going on,
Like I said,
kind of thing.
I'll keep an eye out and try to look ahead, and if it looks like it's going to be something where I may be sighted by something or someone, I'll just start to hang back a bit, and you may look behind, and I may be several hundred feet or more behind you. So,
Yeah.
I will have your backs, though. Whatever the case is, and if the need arises, and I need to rush forward, hopefully I'll arrive in time before you all die.
That's
I think we can
the
manage that.
ideal
Yeah.
outcome.
Good.
Sounds good to me.
Well, then I'm going to rest for the night.
Yeah, me
And-
too. And he just falls to the floor.
Time for bed.
Was there anything else from anyone?
Be careful of beans.
Yeah, I guess.
everyone.
I guess
Be careful of beans.
before I finally put up the hut, I'll go over to Louise. Hey,
Hey,
you got a second?
I mean, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I know you're not really doing anything. I uh I I need to have a a serious conversation. And I don't like having them, but I need to have them now because that's the part of my life that I'm coming into now. Um, I made a mistake a- about a week ago. Um, Jay, I
I'm sorry.
I missed it.
um I can't I can't curse otherwise I'd continue the song. But you remember a week ago, um I think the feeling that Black Star and Razir have described to me is almost like something felt out of place, like something was missing or something was wrong. Did that feeling ever come over you at any point?
I don't think so. Or if it did, it didn't like stay on my mind long enough to remember it.
Well, um, you remember how we all came out alive after the vampire uh mansion ship situation?
Yeah.
That's not what actually happened. Razir died.
Wait, is this like that other thing with Gale? Like you somehow changed the past and we don't remember it?
Yeah. Um, Razir died, and I made a deal with Varla to bring him back, and now Varloth and I have some kind of unspoken deal that I don't really know all of the terms of. He wants to use my site for something, but I don't know what yet. But I made I made a bad decision, and I've been hiding it or trying to hide it from you. I don't know if I gave it away at any point, but I don't want you to hate me, and I'm worried what mom is gonna think, and I'm trying to keep it out of the family, but you're here, and I can't. I when he talks to me, and I know that you don't know, it makes me sick, literally, and I don't like that. And I talked to Razir about it, and he promised not to tell you. And then I talked to Black Star about it, and he promised not to tell you. And it took me a while, but I'm here now, and I just before anything happens, if anything happens on this siege, I just wanted you to know.
One thing I'm wondering now is back at Siligastra's place, she somehow changed the past. Does that mean that I was blank on his name? Rizir's patron,
Veriloth.
Verilon.
Verla. I was like VV, but I could have Verla. Does that mean you did that because you made the pact with him, or did he use your powers to bring Rizir
I don't.
back?
He used. I don't know if he used. We definitely used my abilities to bring him back. I altered the past. As far as the situation Gale goes, I don't I don't know if that was him willing my abilities to do something that they normally can't, or if that's just my natural growth. I really I still don't understand the full extent of what mom can do. I mean, part of the reason I'm out here is to learn. And, I think that it's possible that it's just a natural growth point. It's also possible that it could be forcefully created by something else.
All right. Just when you're able to just try and talk to mom about it, 'cause I don't know much about all these like patrons, stuff like that, but from what I've heard from Rizir, it's never a good idea to make a deal with them.
It was it was a mistake. He knows, I know. I think it was a mistake. And I think he's done with trying to change my mind and is just more eager to indulge in what I've given him access to. Um, and I don't know, but I know that he's listening or he's going to know about this in one way or another. Um, and I know that he altered the past as well using me and hurt mom. And I don't know every detail behind that, but I am going to do whatever it takes to eventually rid my hands of this. But until that day comes, the unfortunate truth is he is mildly helpful to what we need to do now.
I know you said you regret doing that, but in the moment, it brought Rizir back, and to bring him back, we wait. Do we know the church back in CR was
You don't, I don't
we
think.
don't. All right, yeah.
But
When Xander walked out of the temple and
oh
went
no,
to
I did
go
say
talk to
something. Yeah,
Rizir, you said it out loud
yeah,
to
I did say it out
Rizir,
loud.
and the rest of the party was there, including
With it,
Blackstar
yeah, I did say it out loud.
and,
All right.
and Louise.
Yeah. So I mean, couldn't have gone otherwise? Because even if we'd gone to the temple, I'm sure you'd have tried the same thing there, and then Rizir just
Yeah,
have been gone.
yeah, and I mean, mistakes were made. Rosier went and killed Matthias, and I guess that's kind of punishment, I guess. But I think overall, as it stands, the goods outweigh the bads in this situation.
I mean,
Ro-
You see, might have been punishment kill Matthias, but maybe you had him killed so he couldn't teach you instead of him, so he could bring you closer that way.
I don't. If that's the case, then I don't think that's Razir's intent.
No, I don't mean Razir. I mean, it's again.
You could be right.
Yeah.
Varaloth could be trying to
If I'm wrong,
drive me towards him,
because
but
I'm pretty sure Razir said he's the one. Vera wanted Matthias gone, right?
as we're out here and I'm learning and I'm with everybody for longer, I'm definitely learning more to keep my wits about me. I'm learning to be more clever. I'm learning to be more compassionate, more understanding. And I think that that's a mixture of what everybody here has brought to the table. And those are going to be traits that are going to at least try and keep me safe, and keep me in a better light. And I'm sorry.
Just watch out next time for people, because you have a gift, and people are going to try and take advantage of that. So just always think about what people might want from you, because there's really few people in this world who do anything for free. Just, I mean, we have one in the group. And I flick a berry at Black Star. The beans, Black Star, it's the beans!
What?
He's
How are
in
they
the
getting
tiny
through the
hut.
I'll give Luis a hug. I'll put up the hut, and
When they hug, Blackstar goes, "Gay."
we're brothers. What's wrong with you? And
I think
I'll
apart
reach
from his mother, didn't have any familial love.
I'll reach into Luis's, oh my god, berry sack.
Yeah, I don't know where that was going.
I'll like full fist throw one at Black Star, but it falls short.
Just
Yeah.
across the ground. Yeah. Okay.
It's a warning shot. And then I'll turn around and I'll start putting up the hut.
Wait, you could have used catapult on the berry.
Just beat me to death with berries.
Just beat him to death, yeah.
Okay. Finally put up the hut, which I thought everybody was having all these conversations inside of the hut anyways, but it doesn't really
Same.
matter that much. But
Oh, Xander had to pee a couple of times.
I know.
Yeah, I
Oh,
have to
it's
go
true.
pee.
Everybody settles in for the evening after having these conversations. Some of you feeling better, others a little unsure as to what they've seen or heard. Unsure as to what the future holds. You do bed down for the evening. Xander only for a portion. Does Xander actually go to sleep for a couple of hours?
Yeah, maybe a couple of hours. Not much because I have to use 6 hours to scribe the spell. So
It's 6 hours, I think.
it's a level 3 spell. It's
I thought it
2
was
hours
1
per
hour.
2 hours per level.
It's 2
Yeah,
hours per
that was-
level.
Sorry,
So
I
probably
thought they did.
probably for 2 hours I'd be asleep.
So
Oh, jeez.
the up to into the
Louise.
wee hours of the morning. I'm not going to ask for watches on this. You're in the hut, and I already had told you on the last session that this rest would be worry free. So everybody does get in their long rest, but I would like Xander to make a wisdom saving throw.
Dirty 20.
Picking you.
Dirty 20.
It has been a while.
It has been, hasn't it?
So as it has been, it's been quite a while. As Xander closes his eyes and just bloodshot eyes at this point, and obviously you're not going to have a point of exhaustion in the morning, but there's nothing stopping you just from being tired, right?
Right.
And you are dead tired as you hit the ground or pillow or pack or whatever it is that you rest your head on, and you are out like a light. But your eyes immediately open. As they open, streams and bits of lightning bolts come from the seemingly large stone chamber that you find yourself in. You're low to the ground as though you're on your knees, maybe even laying down, but the eyes you're looking through give you a different perspective than you're used to having. Everything seems to be black and white, with no coloration to it. You try to move your neck to pan to the right and are unable to, even as the person whose eyes you are seeing through. A figure unfamiliar to you walks into view and kind of leans down, gets down on one knee, a human, and kind of like wrestles the fur on the side of your head slightly and pushes the ear to the back and adjusts a device that's fit onto the top of your head and over the horn that was once rent from the front of your head. Your head is moved slightly to the right as though being inspected and slightly to the left, and you want to cry out in pain as this searing mass of electrical energy shoots into your mind and down through your shoulders and down to your hooves. As your head is moved to the right, you see a giant glowing portal and many, many monsters of nightmarish intent come pouring through it and are funneled down a tunnel that, again, you are unfamiliar with. Your vision darkens. It comes back to you again, but you've not awoken from this nightmare. Individuals familiar to you come storming into the room, throwing spells and shouting out commands as Razir, firing off Eldritch Blast after Eldritch Blast, creating fields of darkness, and Louise, who slams his cudgel, or whatever it is he's wielding, into various things in this room around you. You are forced to stand still and face straight ahead, mouth hanging agape and off to the side as you feel the drool dripping down your fur and onto the floor beneath you. The rest of your friends and you yourself come into the room and begin laying down mayhem amongst the members of the Chainless that are in the room. Blackstar yells out, "Destroy the canisters!" in an unfamiliar to Blackstar kind of voice. You hear your own voice, although still unfamiliar. "But it'll kill Buttercup!" And Razir speaks up and says, "We have to do what we have to do." As an Eldritch Blast intersects with one of the canisters, and your vision disappears, and you awaken.
The Light Star's gonna kill Buttercup.
I've lost my accent.
Whoa.
I said the voices didn't sound normal.
Whoa.
And that is where we're going to take our break. I'm going to go put Nova to bed.
See you on next week's episode.
I got to start getting back into my cliffhangers because I do enjoy them. Just going to throw this up here, and I will be back in however long it takes. All right. You wake up the following morning. The hut disappears, the tiny hut, and the familiar now smells
Beans
of
fall in.
beans. in the middle of the night,
Blackstar's looking around the ground for beans. Right
a gaggle of squirrels decided to build a nest on top of the top of the dome, directly above where Black Star is sleeping, and just a bunch of nuts just fall onto Black Star's face in the morning. But I'm sure I'm sure that Louise has some kind of bacon and wait. Oh, did Felix freeze? He did.
We
He
did so well.
Oh, he's back.
Dude, I missed my chance.
That was such a
Dude,
good freeze
I was
frame.
just about to make Felix shy.
You can grab it in the
It
VOD.
really looked like he was caught.
Yeah, you got the VODs now, Jason.
Yeah, you can pull straight from the VOD.
So I will start uploading every session now. It just won't be in the playlist until I have all of them caught up, because I don't know how to like go back and move them. And
Gotcha.
You'd think I know how to use computers, but not YouTube. I'm new to YouTube. Anyways, the smell of bacon, the
Bless you.
familiar aromas of the jungle, the sounds of crickets and other small woodland bugs. Not creatures.
It's already
bugs.
hot.
Good morning, everyone.
Why do you gotta be so loud in the morning?
Are we ready to defeat the Chainless?
Oh yeah.
He says, like, sharpening his glaive. Just,
I can't do that with my fists, but yeah, I'm ready. I
I
mean, we're not going in right away, from what I remember. We're just staking the place out a little.
yes, scouting ahead.
We're gonna see what the situation's like when we get there. For all we know, those maniacs could already be there wreaking havoc.
Just
True.
before we head out, let's just I'll do it. Cast aid at third level on everyone, so everyone has 10 plus their max HP
For how long?
for 8 hours.
Nice. Okay. Pick yourselves up in the morning and gather your things and begin trekking south for the final time on the Ratalath Isles as you get to or start heading towards your destination. What is it?
Dang, 2 ones.
Jeez.
What are you
I'm
rolling
just filling
for?
up my orb.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Fancy new orb thing I get to do.
Mm-hmm. I didn't even read it. I don't even remember what it is, but it's fine. So, trekking on for about an hour, or maybe a little bit less, you come across a couple of hills amidst the jungle. That are kind of these rolling hills, and you don't make too much of it at first. And you do see at a certain point that they start to incline pretty significantly. Not a mountain, but just a larger hill. And on the other side of it, there is an opening where water is gushing forth, like almost like a waterfall. It's like kind of high pressure for whatever reason, coming from some underground source, and is landing on the ground and flowing into what looks to be the beginnings of a river, which continues to head in a southern direction. Because it's heading in a southern direction, and that's where you were also heading, it occurs to a few of you who are, good in the survival side of things. Probably makes sense to stay relatively close to it because it's fresh water, and a couple checks from maybe Louise and maybe somebody else, and it is fresh water. It's clean. Okay, so Garen, sure. It's fresh and clean and can be drank as opposed to drunk. As opposed to the rest of the jungle that's here, which has this resting water with mosquitoes in the air and just this really unpleasant environment. This is the first sign of that. And as you travel on a little bit further, the topography changes to being less of a jungle and more of like a forest. And the ground is less wet and full of pockets of mud everywhere, and your boots aren't slapping around in it, and it is more pleasant travel, and you're able to pick up your pace a little bit as you're somewhat following this river south. Another hour goes by, hour or two, and you see the what looks to be the stopping of the trees, like some kind of clearing or something. And this is like way off to the point where you're looking and you're like, oh, the trees look like they break ahead for whatever reason. Before you arrive there, in the 15 or 20 minutes before you're going to get to this opening in the trees, you start to see some ruins, like dilapidated buildings, to where there's only like a part of a wall remaining here, or like you can clearly make out the signs of what is a collapsed staircase off to the side covered in moss and vines, and they're spread out kind of all over the place, but they're so overgrown it looks like maybe there was a village or maybe a city here, but you're not sure, and you don't see any chainless, you don't see anything else that's dangerous necessarily around, so you continue.
I'll be right back. Sorry, carry on though.
Okay.
Any other structures?
Looking around, it's just these ruins that you can currently see. There's no other like major structures, but you feel like you're probably close. Nothing catches your attention like a scouting party or anything like that you would expect. A little ways into this of kind of clambering over these ruins and inspecting various things, I'm sure Xander would probably want to stop and take a look at a couple things, but I'm not going to make you roll for anything and try to use up time here. There's not really anything of note to be discovered that would lead you to know what this is yet. But a little ways past this, and still following the river, which has now kind of broken off and traveled a little bit further east, you do come across what looks to be a long-abandoned fountain that was probably maybe the central meeting point for whatever town or city that this was at one point. It's the fountain is long since gone dry, and it's in a somewhat of a clearing because that's what the area was. There's still some bushes and stuff around, but it is probably about 10 feet tall, and it is a statue of a gnome. Holding a book and having a spyglass in their other hand and kind of up to one eye looking up into the sky. And it's got a kind of wide base at the bottom where water would be flowing into and out of it. And around it are, again, the remnants of some buildings. There's a couple of cleared paths as though somebody had been coming to visit this at regular intervals, even somewhat recently. The thing that catches your attention as you see this somewhat off in the distance is that there's a group of Chainless that are kind of meandering through. It does appear to be a scouting party of some kind, just kind of making their rounds. They don't look on super high alert, but they don't know that you're there, and you just kind of see them through the trees and the underbrush that's here. Looks like there's one more prominent individual and 4 others that are with them, and they're just kind of have some weapons at the side. The one that seems more prominent, as you get a little bit closer to get a better view, which I'm assuming you would do, is wearing like some kind of large backpack that has like some metal attachments to it. You can't get quite close enough without making too much noise because the underbrush here does make noise as you're walking through it. But you can't quite tell what it's made out of except for that there's metal pieces arranged on this backpack. There are 2 cables off of the backpack, one that travels down to what looks to be some kind of melee weapon, like a sword or a stick of some kind, it's very visible crackling energy running up and down the length of the blade or whatever it is. And then holding what the person is holding looks to be a rifle of some kind, and a cable comes from the backpack and connects to the back of this rifle that they're holding, and they're walking very, very slowly, and the 4 that are following them are also walking slowly because the person in front is, like, for some reason deliberately walking at what you would think is like half speed.
There's a cable connecting to the back of the rifle that's connected to something on his back.
The backpack he's got on.
The backpack that he's wearing seems to
got
be
a bunch of cables and stuff too.
Dude,
yeah.
Oh my god, he's got the Luigi's Mansion ghost back.
He's a Ghostbuster.
Oh,
He's a Ghostbuster. Yeah.
the ghost.
Who you gonna call?
And so
Chainless.
from that backpack, there's also a cable. Chainless. So there's a cable that also comes down to the melee weapon at their side, and they seem to be well armed apart from that as well. So that's what you see ahead of you. It seems like they're just moving into this clearing now and are maybe taking a few minutes rest at the fountain. Just kind of taking a look around, and there's like one or two of them that is on watch, kind of looking out and around, while the guy like takes his backpack off and like looks like the way he's handling it, it's incredibly heavy. As he takes it off, he's like struggling and plops it down on the ground with a thud, and then takes out a canteen and starts drinking from it. I'll stop talking now and let you guys do something.
Just one more description. How far away from them are we?
How far away from them would you like to be? The clearing starts at about 30 or so feet from the base of the fountain. So you have...
within a mile.
We know that's your range.
No, that's not my range.
Oh yeah, Garen has the...
Somebody else has something cool that they just picked up.
No.
No, well, I'll be surprised when you use it, whatever it is. I don't know what it is.
It's a passive. You
Yeah.
can see up to a
Passive thing.
mile.
You can see up to a mile?
Yeah.
It's got eagle vision. You can see up to a mile with very precise detail, as if something was at most 100 feet away from him.
What?
Yeah.
It's a 6th level Totem Barbarian, the Eagle feature.
A mile?
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome to Barbarians, Tim.
I was able to
this
see
is-
everything.
But you have dark vision, but if it's dark outside, you can't see a mile with
No,
dark
then it's
vision.
60 feet.
No. It's still
Okay,
only
so
60
but during the
dark
day,
vision,
it's a mile.
Yeah.
I think it says only up to dim light.
That's so,
You know, it's
That's so
dim light
ridiculous.
is you don't get disadvantage on your
Oh, I
perception
see,
check in
yeah.
dim light.
okay. Well, if that's the case, then
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure I would have saw
Violence,
the. Well, no, maybe.
Yeah, when you were saying you can't really tell some details from this far, as like about that.
Welcome to Totem Barbarians.
So you know,
Broken.
Tim, when you were saying you don't want to do too many descriptions, do them now.
Time for more.
I'll just be waiting for. Well, it's not that I don't want to do the descriptions; it's that I don't want to bog down the game. But I'll be looking for you, Jay, to be asking for more descriptions.
I was gonna ask about their weaponry. Like if the big guy is the only one with that weapon.
He is.
And just an overall description of what the. I don't know if I can tell how, like, skilled they look from. Without that's like more insight, I imagine, than perception, right?
Sure.
Did they have a level above their head or like a skull to let me know
On
they're
a
too
scale
high?
of 1 to
Health
20,
bar or
how
something.
strong are they?
Yeah.
Clearly
Have they
they're
attacked
a higher
anybody
level.
recently? Do they have a skull above their head, so they're like have PvP activated or not?
Yeah.
Is their
Yeah.
health bar red?
So yeah, it looks like the backpack has some kind of some of these Exolium canisters that you become accustomed to, kind of like built into them. And I mean, if you can see that far away, you can see that both of the. I mean, this is start getting like really ridiculous. They look not entirely full. As far as the skill level of the individuals here, you know what? Make an insight check.
Yeah, I'm surprisingly good at that.
Am I just gonna fireball them? Are we just fireballing them, guys? Is that?
Yeah, that's what I was asking. Like, do I just
12?
web them up?
I was thinking spell attacks from afar.
You can tell that the guy with the backpack is more proficient than the other four that are with him. They don't look particularly dangerous. The other four, they've got. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah, none of them have any weaponry that even comes close to what he's wearing. They look like just regular chainless thugs, so to speak. The thing that you can see that literally nobody else can see is that I mean at this point you're close enough where you'd be able to see beyond the clearing where the trees stop. It is not a clearing; it is a lake.
Oh.
And from this distance, I mean, it's less than a mile for sure. You can see that there is some kind of structure that is like out in the middle of the lake.
Okay.
That's yeah. I mean, from this distance, for sure. Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Guys.
Yeah, there's all these ruins that are around. Now I'm gonna start like second guessing myself as to what I should be describing and what not.
There's still like line of sight issues.
Yeah, yeah.
and
Sure,
stuff and
sure.
all that
Like
stuff.
trees in the way blocking. Like,
Yeah,
I'll try to just ask very specific questions, so you don't have to describe every single thing you think Garen
Yeah.
would see.
yeah. I'm gonna describe things as normal, and then you can remind me how far you can see, and ask a question, and I'll try and answer it. That will do it
'Cause
that way.
That was something I was going to ask too, if I could see any structures nearby, and then you answered that. Okay.
Make a perception check.
Also, it's as far as like details go, it is still only like, so you can see a mile out, and then the stuff you can see, it says as if they were within 100 feet. So it's not like it's stuff like right next to him, so you can't like read a book from a mile away. It's still like 100 feet away. He's going to be able to see some details.
Right. Yeah.
Perception. What? These rolls, whatever.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
15
Kind of
is
good.
not terrible. You can see that the lake is relatively big. You don't know exactly the size of it, but the structure itself is massive. And the tree foliage is kind of blocking out the top section of the structure, but you can just see that it looks like a big castle, kind of, that's just set on the lake. And it looks like maybe there's a cliff that's like rising up behind the castle. And then off to the left, through the trees, there are two like wooden towers that you can just make out through the trees that are here. That are like up against the edge of the lake. And it looks like this river that you've been following like pours into this lake and then continues off somewhere else. But there is also a large stone outcropping thing that looks man-made that's past the fountain, in between the fountain and the lake, that looks like it has some kind of plaque on it that you can't read from this distance. Maybe you can read it from this distance, but I'm telling you can't, so.
I can. Louise, you seeing what I'm seeing?
I mean, I'm seeing those guys up ahead.
No. But also, like, I think we're here. I think we're here. I see a building surrounded by water. Yeah, that's what that is.
I mean, we're on an island.
Yeah,
Everything's
but
surrounded by water.
right.
Also, what are you talking about? Water? Just some ruins in front of us.
No. I'm saying, you guys can't see what I'm seeing. That's like the worst job for Garen.
Wait,
There's a building.
Is it like Razir's thing where he sees his patron all the time, or sometimes and we don't see him? Are you starting to see things?
Oh no. I mean,
Are you?
I could never see this far before, but I can see.
He's our long lost brother.
I can
B2's
see
gonna stand
a
exactly
building.
where Garen is to see if it's like just the spot.
Like
Just
push his head out of the way.
What I'm trying to say is that we're close. And
I mean, yeah, there's Chainless just there.
well, we could have thought that they were just walking relatively far away from, but they're not that far. Well, I actually can't really
Hold
gauge
on.
how far it is.
I picked up a new trick. Let me take a look here, and while still within the tree line, I'm gonna cast levitate and just float up to basically stick my head out the top of the trees, so I can get a higher up look.
Oh man, new levels and new abilities are always fun just to mess around with. Like when Blackstar first got his disguised
I mean,
self, that was just
You
so
say
funny.
that. I just got silvery barbs.
Oh wow!
I'm not upset.
My hand's just gonna glow, and I'm gonna...
Okay. I didn't want to
Just-
take away from your description. Sorry.
No, that's it. Just my hand glows a bit. Float up and then get to the top of the trees. And...
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty far away, but for Garen, it's not that far away. But for you, it's pretty far away. But I mean, you could see from this distance that the mist is kind of like rising up above the tops of the trees, and like way off, you can see that there's a cliff that kind of like a large hill kind of rising up from the left and right hand side up toward and the trees are still up on top of this cliff, and there's a giant break in the trees in the center. If you're just poking your head above the trees, that's as much as you can see from here. You could keep going up.
If we've got tree, if there's a tree line everywhere, I'm gonna just keep going up.
Okay.
Sky Razier.
Sky Razier.
Sky
Is that a
Razine.
bird? Is that a plane? No, it's
Not
Razier.
Skyrosine, bro.
It's a
Is Alex
Dead man.
actually? Is Alex actually here? Did you hear Sky
I
Razine?
didn't say
Yeah.
yet to do something.
Anyways, okay. So you go up higher and higher, and you go ahead and make a perception check.
Yeah. Higher than 15.
23.
Yeah, way higher.
Wow,
Jesus.
23.
I almost rolled a 15.
Yeah, I mean, even with that high of a perception, you can see that there are, as opposed to other parts of the jungle you've been in before, there hasn't been a lot of wildlife, and I've described why that's the case in the past as far as things having adapted to not wanting to be eaten by other larger monsters. But in this clearing, you do see a couple of larger birds. Like from this distance, they look small, but gauging your distance, they're massive birds, like huge. As one of them kind of soars up into the air, a light, something you don't hear at all, but what you see, a light blue beam of energy travels from somewhere on the ground in where this lake situation is up into the sky, and one of the birds just evaporates and feathers just kind of like fall down. The other birds like quickly scatter to try and get away and fly out of the where this lake is.
Ooh.
He's been gone a while.
They have anti-air defense systems. Oh no.
So watch out with the flying
I'm
around.
gonna see that and immediately just right back down. Just,
Hey.
Yeah, you're not close
let
enough
the-
where like that would be.
I'm gonna let the
problem,
levitate
but-
go, free fall for a couple seconds till I get closer to the tree line, and then reactivate it to slowly go down.
Is it a cantrip?
It's at will.
Oh, of course it is. Okay,
Yeah, I can just do this whenever I want and for how long I want.
it's not an action.
It's an action to cast still, because
Okay.
that's the casting
But
time.
then he
levitate.
can move up and down. I believe it's
Okay.
free
Move up
action.
and- Yeah.
And
let
with
me-
levitate, with this specifically, and I don't mean to bog things down, but I just want to understand, you can move yourself up and down, but you'd have to like push off of something to get any momentum to go anywhere other than up and
Yeah,
down.
like an immovable rod. Or anything else in reach.
The timing
Meaning
on
he would
that,
push off. He would
the
push off
timing
of
on
a,
it needs to be
movable rod.
perfect, but
Yeah, it would just be a pull. Like I would have it here, and then I would just kind of like shove, and then as it's getting to the here, I'd turn it off, and then it would freely move with me.
That's sick.
It wouldn't be super fast, but I could do lateral movement.
it's like rowing.
We're
Well,
all
yeah.
like 500 feet
Could you
ahead
stop
of
your momentum?
Razier, please catch up.
Oh, you
I'm
do
coming.
have the rod. So
Yes.
yeah.
Be there
Yeah.
in a minute.
And if we tie a rope to him and he doesn't want to follow us, he just activates the rod and just stays there. And I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. You can't make me.
So that's your perspective. You come back down to the ground.
So what are we doing about these? I mean, what
Yeah,
are we doing
so-
about these guys?
Yeah. So he's there's something way far off there. You got some impressive eyes on you now.
I just woke
Yeah,
up like this.
do we? Kind of same. He brings up a good question. What do we want to do here? Do we want to get engaged with scouting parties already and like kick things off and like take out these few and then see if they send more to find them, or like do we want to alert the base that we're coming in?
My thought is,
What,
If
what are
we-
people thinking?
don't do something now, then these guys will eventually come behind us once we're inside.
I mean,
Right.
if we could just sit here and see which way they go. If they're
We
Right, we're
could,
gonna-
as far out as they go.
we
we
could
can-
sit here, or we can just move ahead, try and sneak around them, and
Oh.
if
Yeah, there's some real big birds farther off, and one of them flew over the clearing bit where
That's nice.
apparently this lake is. A big blue beam of light shot up like some kind of magic or something, and just like evaporated that bird, just completely destroyed it. And, these other giant birds took off flying away. So coming from above ain't gonna work.
It's only been about 3 minutes, but the scouting group, the guy with the backpack, does like grunt a little bit, puts away his canteen, picks up his backpack, shoulders it, and kind of adjusts it, and gets everything strapped together in the front, and then they begin walking off away from the fountain.
Well, they decided what we're doing with them for us. I guess let's take a look around. We need to get an understanding of what's around here, how many scouting parties there are, and maybe get a good, if we can get close enough, a good look at what's at the actual base.
Yes.
Which way did the scouting party head?
They came from the
Was
west
it-
and they're heading east. Don't forget you're heading south. So
So they're most likely just circling around the lake.
Yeah, we crossed their
You
path.
watch.
Bet that there is more than one party rotating as a means
Yeah,
to
kind of like watches on a wall.
Yeah.
Right,
Multiple
yeah.
guards walking around.
I think we should scout ahead because that is what we originally agreed was the plan. We
Yeah.
make note that we have ran into party A and he had that weapon. I think that is our biggest threat.
Yeah, we could also stake out here and see if other groups come by. If this is a route, see if that happens. See how long it takes for another group to come by,
Hmm.
and if so, how many.
one last detail that Louise would have picked up on, again, only because of the passive perception. On the hitched to the side of this backpack, kind of like in a little holster, again, attached by a smaller cable, there appears to be what looks like a sending stone with a cable attached to it.
Guys, I think, well, would make sense. I'm pretty sure the guards have sending stones and might be able to communicate with the chainless base pretty quickly.
Yeah, that
So
would make
I think
sense.
avoiding
Scouting
them
parties
might
use
be the best thing to do right now.
Yeah,
No.
I'm kind of feeling the idea of waiting here a bit and staking out and seeing if more groups come, and if so, how many come by
And
and how
maybe
often.
the time between when the groups
Yeah.
come by, maybe.
That way we
Um,
can know when it's best to move if we know
Yeah.
the timing.
Yeah, and depending on how many groups we do count, kind of get a feel for if we want to engage the people outside or sneak past them and just cause a ruckus in the base, kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm still
Well,
under
maybe not a
the
ruckus, but
opinion that we should take out the scouting parties because they seem a lot farther away. We just have to
Yeah,
do it fast enough before they can reach that rock that they talk into.
well, we need to find out who has it first, or if all of them
it's
have
the
it.
guy with from what I saw, the guy with the big backpack. It was connected to the backpack, so they might need it to.
maybe it's not a regular stone that can only be used once a day. Maybe they can use it more than once. And if they can,
Yeah.
Yes.
they might be checking in regularly.
Well,
So
we're gonna watch them for a while so we can see if they are communicating with one another.
yeah,
All right, so we're staking out here.
I think that might be our best idea for now, till we kind of get more of an idea of their perimeter.
All right.
And honestly, if there's enough scouting parties, we might not want to tangle with them.
Yeah, if there's too
Just
many.
get past them and go for the base. But then again, we worry about them coming in behind us. So I think without knowing anything else, sitting here and scouting out is going to be our best bet.
I like this plan. I think it's safe.
And
All right,
now
let's
that we
go.
got now that Garen, you got them long vision eyes, help us out seeing when they're coming by.
Yes, I'm gonna spend the entire time we're staking out, like looking east and west to see if I can see them walking toward us, or any other parties walking toward us.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, so the foliage and everything is pretty dense.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, you do actually see something. I just got another.
Yeah, Alex said people came by his home.
Okay.
Copy.
Yeah, and also we're not gonna stay here too much longer. Getting pretty close to wrap up time, but we'll see where we get to. Anyways, before I'm gonna ask you to make a perception check, so you can go ahead and make that roll now if you'd like. What I will say is that everybody sees that this large stone that is beyond the fountain does have a plaque kind of set into it with fairly large letters, but you can't make out from this distance what it says. There's also a plaque set into the base of the statue that sits in the middle of the fountain with some potential information on it. With a 13, looking, I don't know, how much time do you want to spend sitting here? You're going to spend all day? If it takes that long?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe if we potentially see the group we first saw again. Up until then, I don't know how long that would take though.
So you mean you sit there on the outskirts? I didn't know if in the time while you're waiting for another group to come by, if anybody would be trying to do any kind of other scouting around, if you're literally just going to park yourselves here and just sit here and watch.
I think until we get sight of a second group or the first group again, we won't know how often the intervals of them coming by is, so we'd want to play it safe and wait. And then once we know how often they come by, we might take an opportunity to go look at the place and then go back to safety.
I can scout with Java.
That's also a fair point. Maybe notice if someone's hiding in a building, watching. If there's
Didn't
guards not
Rozier say
rotating.
they
Or
have
Rozier.
like
Bird right
lasers that
Yeah, they
shoot
have the
birds?
big
Yeah, but those
lasers
were real big birds. Almost maybe might have been some kind of monster, and they were over closer to what Garen was talking about with this lake and the building in the middle of the lake.
By
That
the
was
way, they were white. Not that matters, but
they were Caucasian birds as well.
from the mountains of Caucasus.
why? they're
was a good
giant
opportunity.
white birds. There's plenty of white birds. We get.
That's great.
Anyways,
There were giant flying chickens.
Giant
Oh, God.
flying chickens. Oh man. That was more farther over, and that was a lot higher. So I don't think you'd have too much of a problem around here with Java. If he's still a bird, I don't remember.
Yeah,
if you
I
changed him or not.
never changed him.
Yeah, you could have him if he's. I mean, he's a colorful bird, right? Or no, he was
Yeah.
like a white bird.
White
Or
bird.
something. Blend in with the area. Have him go over and you can see what's going on.
when did you bring him back after he got shot down in the clearing?
Oh, he did get shot.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you could have done that during the long rest.
You had multiple long rests.
But he was scribing.
You could
Oh, we
swallow
had
it.
one.
Just one.
Yeah.
I don't remember you
That's
saying
really
you brought him
just
back,
only-
but there was time in the long rest and all that time to do that. That's probably the only time. Unless you were going to spend the hour right now to do it right now. But
No, I wouldn't have used it now.
okay. Well, we'll just
Yeah.
say he's back and that you
Yeah.
did it then, right?
Yeah, let
Um,
me negate that's actually all I had. The charcoal and stuff. So now if he goes down again, I can't do it until I get more stuff. So
I've got a couple of uses on me.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. I'll have him go scout.
Okay. You're doing this while you're waiting for the whatever to happen for the next group or the
Yeah.
first group. Okay. What's the range until you lose the
100
ability
feet.
to control? So it's
100
100 feet to be able to control him, but you can still see through
Yeah.
his eyes
Yeah.
past that. And we gave that. Did we give that infinite range or 500 feet or 1,000 feet or what would we?
I don't. We've never really had to get to a point where it's like we need to put a cap on it.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
if you
I
want to
forget
make
what they-
one now,
I forget what they did in with
I think Critical
Frumpkin.
Role was 500 feet,
yeah.
but he had control of him up until that point. It was absurd. It was broken.
Right. Okay.
Um,
So you give Java the command as this bird to fly out and scout. Once Java gets past 100 feet, what are you going to have? What's the command going to be so that he continues doing that? Oh,
It's a circle, I guess.
we will come back to Garen's 13 perception check. I did not forget that. I promise.
Me either.
It's a circle. Yeah, it's a circle within radius, and just take a look around, and whenever I feel like I've exhausted the site, I'll just bring him back, and then if there's like a 15-minute passage of time, I'll bring him back out and continue looking.
So Java flies out and doesn't necessarily go above the trees because that would prevent his vision down below. But just like any other bird in the forest, kind of making his rounds, probably notices the second group of chainless scouts around the same time that Garen does, only because Garen rolled only a 13 on his perception check. But there is a second group approximately an hour from the first one that starts, is heading in this direction. With the 13 perception, you do also see just the glimpse of something shining like way off in the distance. Again, and these chainless are moving very slowly through the forest. They're like being methodical. You're not 100% sure the reason why they're moving so slow, but they are, because they're moving slow, they're able to really take in the environment, and they're not being nonchalant about it. The chainless that you've experienced in the past aren't as bad as the outcast and stupid as the outcast is, but they've not been as on alert as these are. These are like really like pushing aside bushes, even though somebody could be hiding in the bushes to the side of them, but they're really moving things out of the way and kind of spreading out a tiny bit, like not more than 5 or 10 feet away from each other, to go around the side of a tree, looking and making sure that a perimeter around this lake is very well kept. So there's another group that's maybe an hour to an hour and a half behind this now second group that's approaching.
Okay.
So-
I'll
Guys, we
communicate
got
that.
group number 2.
Yeah, as he says that, I'll say, guys, we have group number 2.
Oh yeah, you can't hear us. Yep.
All right, 2 pairs of eyes on him.
I don't know how long it's been though. Does anyone know how long it's been? I've just been looking.
About an hour.
Okay.
They look to be about an hour behind each other.
I'll tap Xander on the shoulder.
I'll come back for a second. Yeah?
Yeah, Garen also spotted them.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
no,
we've seen
he's
them about
doing-
at the same time.
He's
So
doing
yeah,
great.
you're basically saying. I know you can't hear us, but you're basically saying the same thing he's telling us.
Yeah, that's great. And I'll go back into
There was
Java's
also-
site.
Java does not see the third group. Garen, you do see the third group, which is obviously
This is still in that hour interval or another hour?
well, what I'm saying is because of how far you can see,
Oh, okay.
you see a third group that's between an hour and an hour and a half behind this other group. So it's not exactly perfect clockwork. And
Okay.
you're probably, I don't know if Garen's the perfect judge of timing,
No.
but they look like they're behind the second
Yeah.
group.
We also have group number 3. behind that group. I can't really. This is so weird that I can see this.
Does each of the groups have another fellow with a fancy backpack and the stuff on him?
It looks like it, yeah.
All right, yeah.
It's like I'm
All right, so
assuming there's
they got
one
a
commanding officer in
they got a
each.
pretty tight perimeter here. You kind of remember what that first group looked like? Because we might want to wait here and see how long it takes them to get back around.
I totally know. I remember exactly what they look like. Yeah.
All right. Guess we'll be sitting here for a while and count groups.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I just realized, could they cast the spell on the Sending Stone?
We don't know if it's the same kind of like or if it's like special in some way, but I don't know.
On their
mean-
Sending Stone, I mean.
Oh.
Because the spell says on a creature, an object, or a magical effect.
Remind me if I'm wrong though, Xander. It doesn't quite work on magical items that have its magic imbued in it, right?
He's looking through the eyes of Java.
Oh, right.
But-
He'll have to confirm, but I don't think the spell magic works on magic items. I think it's kind of just ongoing effects. Like
Right.
if I could put my darkness on an object, but so like if you
And
target that
casting
object
this
with
on
it,
would just if you casted darkness on let's say my staff, which is already magical, but somebody casted dispel magic will only remove the darkness since it's a temporary effect.
I think that's how it works. Yeah.
Yeah, we just need to
I
get.
mean, your brother's the one with the spell. He'd know for
Yeah.
sure how it works.
We would need
but,
to get the stone away from them.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just saying if we could have, because I believe it's quite a long range on dispel magic, so you could have casted that on the stone, and then we'd attack them, so they couldn't contact the whoever they want to
I think-
contact.
I had an idea that Garen would never have.
I think if we're gonna deal with any of the scouting parties, we'll have to be quick about it, and we'll have to take out the guy with the backpack, so he can't call for help.
Yeah.
Also, he's got the fancy weapon, so he's biggest threat anyway.
Yes.
And
I don't know.
is each of the groups a group of like 4 or 5? Was it?
Oh yeah, that's a good question.
I think it was 4.
5.
Oh, 5.
So
I don't
one
know
with
if
a
that
big
was Garen
backpack or
talking.
5.
Garen said 4. Yeah.
Sorry, I should have left it as it was.
Right. So each group's about 4 or 5. Every one of them has one of them fancy backpacks with the stone. About hour and a half apart. And I still think we sit here and confirm all this and see how many groups there seem to be, and get a
Wait
general
another-
idea of at least how many numbers they're putting forth to hold. The
I mean,
perimeter.
Right now we have
Garen,
3
how-
groups.
big is the lake?
Yeah. It's pretty big. It's pretty wide. I think it has a huge building in the middle of it.
Because I was wondering maybe if we knew the size of the lake, we could figure out how many groups there are going around it.
Yeah, I just can see the lake. I don't know anything about that.
Would Garen? Do you think that Garen would be even able to guess the size of the lake? If I told you that
You can make me
anybody
roll
else,
Like, how long do you think it would take you to run from one side to the other?
How many Garens the underground is it?
Dude,
You
that's
stretch
how
Garen
that's how I
out.
used to
Laid
measure. That's how I used to measure COVID distance. I was like, if I laid LeBron down between me and that person, I'm far enough.
You're saying it as if you met him.
wow.
You intimately know how tall LeBron is, and, and how that relates to real space with it next to you.
So you can't see all the details. There are trees that are blocking your perspective to some extent because it's pretty thick in here. But I will ask for a perception check. It's a fairly high DC, just to gauge
He passes
the
these.
size of it. I mean, if you got closer, it would be pretty easy to just see for anybody. If you get,
That's pretty good.
ooh, nice,
Pretty good,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah, all right. It's around. I mean, for Garen. I mean, Garen probably doesn't know exactly, but it's somewhere between.
How many Garens?
Just try not to describe it in numbers, because there's no way Garen would be able to. He would have to be like, it's as big as like a couple. Like if I
So
laid a
you
couple
can't even say
boulders.
like
How
5
many
Garens
rocks
across.
is it? Yeah. How many?
The
rocks?
How many boulders across?
the
We're using Old English. How many stone is it?
Yeah.
How many stone?
No, that's a weight. That's a weight.
Yeah, no, that's a way. Yeah.
The average Hyalus home, it's probably like, hold on. It's like between 28 and 35 Hyalus homes wide.
Okay. If I had to guess,
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
if I had to guess, it's about. I would say about 28. Hold on. Yeah, 28, give or take 30 of my homes, and they're like, and I'm gonna ask Gary. I'm gonna walk from like one place to another place to gauge how long the homes are.
Garen walks about 40 feet.
Okay.
Holy.
B2 is going to make a mental note that this is how we measure in this world is Garen Holmes. So
No way.
All right, so that was okay. I don't want to do.
I didn't ask for this power.
But I ain't doing that.
I'm burdened
man.
by this power.
I didn't ask for this curse. All right. So about 30-ish. That okay. I can envision that. Right. All right. So it's pretty big
It's
lake.
pretty big.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's pretty big.
Oh, Xander, you're back. Good. You can do some math.
It's about this time that the second Chainless group approaches the fountain, and the guy takes off his backpack. It's a different person, obviously, and kind of sets it down. It does pretty much the same thing as the other group.
This is a check-in point.
I was about to say that. There seems to be a spot
Yeah,
where
watch him, see if he talks in that stone at all.
Yeah, you guys all watch. Does not pick up the sending stone and talk into it at all. They talk amongst each other. It just
At a rest point.
doesn't look like anything
Along their
interesting is
route.
going on. They're just resting
How
for
far
a minute or
away
two.
are they?
From you, we're gonna put 100 feet on it.
100 feet. Okay. Can I read their lips?
What's the rate? Wait, what?
100 feet?
Is he able to see their lips?
Am I able to see their lips?
What feat is that did you have that before?
Observant. I've always
Yeah,
had
you
observant.
said that for
Okay,
a while.
okay. 100 feet. It's kind of tough. You pick up a couple
With
of
my
words.
supervision.
I'm not going to ask you. I'm not going to have you
feet.
roll for this. Yeah. Well, I mean, the main guy doesn't really say anything. The other like couple thug archer people that are kind of with him with a couple different weapons that they have, they're just kind of like talking to each other. You heard he got kicked out. Yeah, that was sad. Not really. That's they're just they're not
on the job talk.
They're outcasts in the making.
maybe. But yeah, there's nothing of interest that they're talking about. They're still like, while they're having conversation, what I will say is that they are attentive. If one of them is, I don't know, bending down to tie their shoe, but they don't have shoelaces, but you know what I mean though. They're doing something where they're not paying attention. There's always one or two of them looking out into the forest to keep an eye out there. It's like whether they've been trained or paid well enough to be doing this, or they just are smart enough and actually care about what's going on in the base, they are attentive.
Very quick, Tim. Can you? I apologize. Can you re-describe the backpack? I just want to confirm something, if you don't mind.
Okay. What is it that you want to confirm?
Did you? That's fair. Did you say it was power? What was it powered by again? Or like what?
So I mean, if Garen
Solium
conveyed
canisters, right?
the information, right? So
Yeah.
there are 2 solium canisters
Okay.
on the like set into the backpack. It's not the only thing. It's not like just a backpack with canisters on it, but there's other like clockwork and wires and arcane sigils set into things and
Doodads.
I think thinking back to your question, Louise, dispelling isn't going to work because I don't think it's powered by magical means. And I also think we have to be careful of a explosion from the backpack. I do not know if I am creating false fear, but for some reason that is a concern.
Oh, that changes everything.
If they explode, we could use that to our advantage.
We absolutely could.
If we
But-
can control when it
I mean,
explodes.
I could hit him from here. I could hit him from way over there too.
I mean, if it's a big explosion, the other groups or
Yeah,
the
everyone will
base
know.
might see it.
Yeah.
Can I
But if
still
we're far
see?
away and they
that
don't
other
know
party?
they were attacked to cause the explosion?
Could
Could
just
be.
be a malfunction. It would draw
Yeah.
attention away from us, would draw attention away towards this one accident, and then we could move in, hopefully unannounced.
Could also put them all on alert
Yeah,
if they can use those
There's
those
they'll
stones.
just use a
often as-
stone.
Yeah, if they can use those stones as often as they want, which we have to keep in mind that it's possible. One group hearing the explosion means all of them do. So we may not want to alert them. It might be find their timing and then sneak between them to get into the base. We also might still want to go around the perimeter and see if there's any other ways to this building in the middle of the lake, because if there ain't, we're just out in the open and we might have to try a nighttime infiltration.
Yeah.
If only you had a horse with a swimming speed.
I mean, I also... So, we do have the option of all of y'all getting in the hole, and then I don't need to breathe, and in the cover of that, I could walk along the bottom of the lake to the building, and then let y'all out of the hole at the
Mhm.
building, so we're not crossing the lake in the open.
But if you go down, then we're all screwed. I feel like we've done
Yeah,
this
but-
before.
We have 2 people who could do that. You and B2.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I ain't the only one anymore. Right, yeah, me and B2 could walk along the bottom. Less likely for whoever's out there to just immediately go down and y'all be stuck in the hole. So, like, potentially that's a way in, or at least to the building.
Yeah. As it seems
But,
right
yeah,
now.
This is just throwing ideas out there while just based on the information we have. I think even now we still want to sit here and watch for a while longer, see how many groups come by.
Yeah. All I know is if we decide to engage with the scouts, we have to take them all out very quickly. And if we
At
don't,
least the backpack guy first, yeah.
and if we don't engage, then we have to do whatever we need to do inside the base very quickly before everyone else is, alarmed, and then we're just kind of surrounded at all points.
I also have a new spell that would give us some time called Wall of Force.
No. No.
Oh, the combos we will have. I'm
That's pretty
excited.
sick.
No.
They can
I'm looking
radio.
forward to. I'm not stuck in here with you. You're stuck in here with me, Barbarian Fight Cage. I'm excited for Box of Darkness or Box of Damaging AoE spell.
The amount that
Combos.
I hate Wall of Force cannot be described in words.
It is such a powerful tool.
It is. I hate it so much, and I would never ban something like that from a game, but it makes me want to ban it because that is how much I hate it.
Instead, it's just every single mage, every single caster in this base has Disintegrate.
Or power would kill. So instead of Blackstar being targeted all the time in all the battles, now it's going to be Xander. Like,
I mean,
It
to
was
be
always
fair,
coming.
it was always going to be the case as the mage gets higher level.
Yeah.
Let's protect the mage
I'm
until higher
obviously-
level, and then he
I'm
can
obviously
just
joking.
delete everything.
For
Yeah,
Jay, who's new.
So
right,
we're-
you're
No.
joking.
We're still waiting,
But-
right?
Okay, so
Yeah, I think it's just going to be like a day of scouting and watching their patrol path.
And
Okay.
waiting to see if the outcasts actually pull up, because they did say that they would
True.
pull up. So if we don't get any hint that they're actually trying to cause chaos, because if they cause chaos, I feel like we got to move.
Might
Yeah.
need to-
Right. Yeah, use that as a distraction.
So
Yep.
wait for that as well.
We
So-
definitely want to be closer to the base when that happens, though, so we're not just like, something's happening and then we have to run from all the way here.
So, for those in the party that are, I don't want to say smarter, but I mean, obviously people have higher intelligence, right? So it's hard to gauge how long it would take someone to walk all the way around the lake because none of you have seen it except for Garen.
Yeah.
It's not that far away, but it's far enough away where you just can't get the scope of it. So if you just sit here and watch the part, the scouting groups, you'll be able to figure out what their timing is and whether or not they're repeating at a certain point. But unless you were to get closer, it would be like, oh, I can see how big the lake is. I know approximately, based on the rough terrain, how long it should take people moving at half speed approximately to get all the way around this, right? So from your current setting, you can't gauge that.
I think we need to. I think here's the move. We've kind of scouted through like 2 or 3 groups already. I think at this point we need to split the group. Not us. I mean like in between these 2 scouting parties that are passing by, we need to just go at some point in between where neither of them can see us and just go past this little patrol that they're doing. Get past the patrol, get closer. That way we can get a better gauge on what the base actually looks like, the lake actually looks like, and then we can make a more educated decision. But by that point, we've already broken the patrol circle. From what we can tell, it looks like there's a pattern to this.
Yeah.
So we'll have broken through that wall, and then we can get a better idea of what we're actually dealing with instead of just sitting here and watching the same 3 groups patrol over and over and over again.
And in that, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I totally
No, I was
just did.
done.
It sounded like you were done. In that hour and a half between patrols, like for people with normal vision, not like Aaron, you can't see the left or the right group, which means they can't, for the most part, they shouldn't be able to see you. So you've got like time,
Right.
at least
there's a decent enough
like
window.
30, 45 minutes of nobody's
In a
here,
group,
right?
yeah.
You could just walk through, you can investigate, you can do whatever you need to do. You probably could get all the way to the lake in that time and not have to worry about encountering
Yeah,
one of
I
those
think
scouting
that's
groups.
the play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is it like
Um,
there's a small clearing where there's like the statue,
fountain.
all that stuff? Yeah, the fountain. And then there's wood, and then there's a lake.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then we
Yep.
could go
And
hide.
And intermingled
Yeah.
amongst the forest, that's here, there are bits of ruins, like a little half wall here, and you can see that everybody can see them scattered throughout the
Yeah.
forest that's here.
Yeah, I think give it a little bit more time, see if there's another like scouting party or 2, and if it's the same interval, get a slightly bigger sample size for that timing. Once we have that, pick a point in between. We get pass without a trace, so we don't leave tracks, and we're extra stealthy getting in between them. And then remind me, tiny hut makes us basically camouflaged, right?
It can be a
There
single
is-
color.
Yeah, we've talked about like a
Right, okay.
sort of opaque gradient issue, but
Well,
like
that was in
it's-
instances.
it's not really something that hides
Okay.
us. It's
Right.
not.
Okay.
It's
If
like
anything-
a dome. So it's-
Yeah.
Right.
If anything, we
so
can
we'd have
move
to-
ahead now when these guys leave, and I can just keep watch, like, because I can still see it if we pass it and we go a while. I can see if another person or another group shows up at this fountain.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not
I,
like it's
I
an.
think
It's,
Xander's right.
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Yeah, I think Xander's right with be on the other side of this patrol
Yeah.
band and closer
Okay.
to get a better idea. Move up, look around a little bit more, see if we can see some activity from the building or anything. Be a
Agreed.
bit closer to.
I'm gonna get water.
Are we bringing a Gnosis with us still?
I think he already
at this point.
stopped following us.
yeah, I mean, you look around and Gnosis is like 200 feet behind you, just planted, looks like a tree. But you recognize him because he looks different, similar. I wouldn't even say similar coloration, but he's not
Because
covered
we
in
know
vines.
what.
He looks
Because
like.
we know what we're looking for.
He's like hundreds
it.
of feet behind you.
Okay. Since it is forest, do we want to bring him with it? How many can you pass with a trace? It's just people within 30 feet of you.
I
Right.
believe so.
There's no limit on the number.
How much noise does he make? I guess pass without a trace like nullify that.
So
It gives
would-
you a
It would make him a
10.
lot. Plus 10 stealth and no tracks left, if I remember.
Each creature you choose within 30 feet of you,
Okay. So
including you.
we could all climb up on Anosis's shoulders, big tree man, and like, all of us could be extra stealthy while he's the only one walking into the next bit of forest and then find a spot to hunker down, plant himself. And we could just stay up in his
Right.
big, strong branches.
That, or you could
He's not as
just
tall
stay
as the-
back where he was.
He's not as tall as the other trees that are here right now.
Yeah, so you could just stay back, and we go up. It's not like he needs to.
Yeah.
The trees
Did
in
they-
this area are anywhere between like 50 and 80 feet tall.
Wow.
He's like 25 to 30 feet tall. So
Okay, so he would stick out.
Well,
Okay, so maybe we
no.
don't.
I mean, there's other
He wouldn't
there-
stick out. He's too short.
there's there's like a good
Right.
amount of vines and foliage and like other bushes that are tall in certain areas where he could try his best to blend in. I mean, it would be a stealth check is all it would come down to, really.
Yeah. So, are we going back to get him, or are we gonna move?
Actually,
is this party
we,
gone yet? Are they still there?
We could have him stay
Oh.
back here, and then
At this point,
if
they
we
definitely
need
moved
to, we could contact him. Because Xander, you were working on the messaging spell, right?
Yeah, it's done. It's done. I know it.
So you could contact him from within the base, right? Or near the base.
Yeah.
We need
I
him
can.
to cause a distraction of some sort with the scouting groups, because maybe he could cause them problems, so that we don't have a bunch of groups coming in behind us, kind of thing. If there is a ruckus.
Yeah, but that's. I mean, that's asking him to die.
I mean, I don't know about that, but
It is. I mean, you're asking somebody. While we're inside of this base trying to do whatever it is we're trying to do, he's going to be stuck out here alone against a scouting group and then another rushing scouting group.
It all depends where those outcasts are.
it's something available for us to do. I'm not saying we need to do nothing like that, but if we need a quick distraction for something, we have a way of getting in touch with him. But I'm thinking it might be the point where he doesn't come along.
Yeah, I don't know. It
'Cause
It really
it's
all
unlikely
depends on the
he's
outcast.
getting across that lake. Yeah.
Are we crossing this area?
I mean, let's at least tell him first before we go.
Okay.
And tell him to
Yeah.
lay low at least. I don't.
I mean, he pretty much said he was already gonna do that.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel right to just go.
Yeah, we can go tell him what we found, what we've seen, let him know about the timing of the groups so that he can sneak across if he needs to on his own. Let him know we're going in farther. And if things go south, we can get in touch with him if we need to.
Okay.
Go let him know that.
So Xander's the one who's going back to go. You
Yeah, I guess so.
walk back a couple hundred feet, and Gnosis is there, and kind of like you see in the bark, like one eye opens, and he kind of like looks down at you. Is it time to move on?
We're talking about moving on. We think it might be a good idea for you to stay here.
I mean, I know that the scouting groups are coming through, but do you mean stay here? Here.
Well, it's not about the scouting groups. It's more so about getting across to where we have to go. It's looking like we're gonna have to cross a lake for the most direct route or go around it, but we don't know the full routing of the scouting groups. They could also be going around the lake. There's really no telling. But
You think I'm a liability?
I don't. I mean, can you cross? Like, can you go and cross a lake?
I've never tried.
And that's the situation. Is I don't know if this is a moment for experimentation.
I must find my Bertrude, and I don't want to be useless.
I will put my best foot forward in trying to get her back for you. And I have ways of getting in touch with you and contacting you if things go south. If we need you to come in, if we need you to cause a distraction, but I don't want to do that. Honestly, it's a conflicting situation. It's a tough call, and I don't even know if this is the right one.
But I need to know that she's okay. I need to be the one to find her and to help her. She's my betrothed. I have to do everything in my power to get to her and help her. And is there a way that I could carry you and you could shoot your colorful magic energy at things as we walk along? Or I could... Oh.
Oop, there goes Alex.
Alex is dead.
I mean, from traveling with him, is he like quick?
No.
I didn't think so.
I could float. I've seen, some of my brethren that have died that are floating in rivers. I've seen that happen. So is it possible that I could float and be like... Yeah, you said water, and crossing water. I might be able to float. I've never tried. I don't want to die to make it so that you can float on the water. That would defeat the purpose.
Well, that's the whole thing here is that we don't want you to die, and we don't know what we're running into there. I kind of have an idea, and it's not pretty. It's going to be ugly, and I know that you want to help, and that's noble, and we appreciate that. We might have to draw a line here where if you want to stay alive to hopefully see your Bertrude, and we want to make it out alive with everybody intact, it might be best for you to stay back.
Just for the sake of it, make a persuasion check for me.
Sure.
With advantage, since Java is helping him,
I
right?
thought that was a 9. That's a 7 total.
7 total.
Yeah.
Xander, I we've been traveling together for only about a day. Maybe a little longer. You are the only ones I've met from this plane of existence that I've come to trust, as everyone else is trying to fool me or sell me something or lead me in the wrong direction, and you're the only ones who've been honest. I can see it in your eyes that you don't know that you'll be successful in this mission. And that causes me to be disconcerted, but you are the only ones that I've come across that I can trust. What I can say is good luck.
He has hands, right? Kind of like branchy hands.
He does. They're just, yeah. Mhm.
I'll shake.
They're
I'll
huge.
shake his hand.
I
I'll shake his
mean,
hand.
he doesn't have hands. You can shake one of his fingers.
Yeah, I'll shake like.
You
a
like.
finger. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll be
Strange customs in these lands.
Yeah. We'll be back.
Find her for me. Take care of her. She's all I have. And maybe I'll show you my home one day.
I would love that. And I mean, I can get in touch with you, so when we find her, we'll be in touch.
As much as I don't want to perish in this mission, and who knows if she is actually even in there at all, I'll do some scouting of my own and see if I can figure something out. I'll keep my distance for now and circle around and see whether or not there's an opening for me to be able to come in and help in some way, if at all. But if you're gone for a long time, or if you're going to be gone for a long time, just let me know so that I'm not kept here waiting all this time for nothing.
Yeah, I'll give you a ring. And I'll go back to the group.
Okay. He moves even further away, plants himself into the soil, and blends into the surroundings. Come back to the group. You still have that interaction didn't take very long, but you still probably have another 45 minutes to an hour before the next group comes along.
Okay. We doing this?
Let's go.
It's our window.
All right. How about start making our way closer to the lake?
Making our
With
Okay.
that, with pass without a trace, right? So we don't leave
Yeah.
tracks.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would like everyone to make a stealth check, please.
With the plus 10.
18
And if we're going
total.
through this clearing bit, we will read the plaques as we go by.
It says Jupiter keep down. I'm calling it.
Ooh.
And I'll roll for black
Look at that!
stars.
Look at that smirk! Look at that smirk! Look at that DM smirk!
Oh, I did sleight of hand.
Ooh, I'm glad we have pass.
If it counts for anything, it's the same thing. It's a +3. So if you don't mind my sleight of hand, or
Alright, roll
I'll
twice. Sorry
re-roll
about
if you
that.
would prefer that.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I rolled twice with black
Okay.
star since I thought it didn't roll.
All right, we got an 8 from Xander, 22.
Plus 10 on all of those.
Okay, gotcha. So
18.
18, 32. Okay. 25, 28, 17. No, Razier didn't roll very well. And then Black Star, he rolled with
It's
disadvantage?
just- No, it's
The
just
first one is
since
the important
The
one.
first
yeah,
one.
the first one.
So
Yeah,
30
since
for
I
Black Star.
it
Gotcha.
didn't roll any dice on
Okay.
D&D Beyond on this character sheet, so
I
I,
mean-
thought it didn't roll, and I clicked it again.
Overall, that's really good. Some not so great rolls, but no natural ones or anything. So, yeah, you pass by. You go up to. You've got plenty of time to at least get through the clearing and into the other side of the forest and continue on. Going up to the plaque on the fountain where the statue of the gnome is, it looks as though the plaque where the writing is has been like scratched out. Somebody purposefully took something and defaced the writing that was on this particular plaque. Going past that, and looking at the gnome statue, it was well made in its heyday, but it looks like it's seen some wear over the years. It looks pretty old. Just like for some reason, this fountain remains almost completely intact, although worn down by comparison to all the buildings that surrounded it have been annihilated. Right, so that's kind of weird. Going a bit past it, the stone outcropping with the plaque on it that I described is actually like a ways, like the road continues almost like in the direction of the lake. So halfway between this fountain and the lake, the buildings kind of peter out and then eventually stop. And this plaque is there. And walking up to it, it is not defaced. And who here speaks Gnomish?
I do. I
I
speak
don't.
Gnomish.
I don't, but I have Eyes of the Runekeeper, so I can read any writing.
Okay. I mean, I figured Louise would probably go up and read it. So you don't. I mean, is it cast for free for you to be able to do that?
Yeah.
But
No, I can.
it's
I can
always
just.
on.
I don't
It's
even
just
have to
permanently
cast.
on.
It's just permanently on. I can just read anything.
Oh, okay. So you both walk up.
He's getting magic eyes.
Yeah. So the plaque just simply reads, and it's like facing the plaque. You are looking through the tree line, and now you've gotten much closer. You can clearly see this giant keep with a wall around the outside of it that's set out in the middle of this giant lake. A drawbridge coming down from the front of it out into setting on top of the lake, as though there's supposed to be a moat, but it's just out in the middle of the lake, which is weird. And then a giant cliff that comes up and is basically almost level with the roof of the building, and the building is set up against this cliff. Maybe there's a gap on the back side of it. You can't really tell from this distance, but that's the tree line and this cliff line that you see in the two towers off in the distance that Garen had mentioned. But as you're looking at the plaque and looking at the building, it's like it's designed to describe what the building is. And it just simply reads, "Welcome to Anaria's Watch, founded by Jupiter Keepdown." And that is where we'll pick up next week.
Sounds good.